I am surrounded by.
I'm often surrounded by.
The entire system is surrounded by
Freaking idiots.
Surrounded by them.
Idiots.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today with a man who really doesn't need much of an introduction. You probably grew up with him, watched him on Zoey one-on-one. I know his brother from That's So Raven for sure.
Yep.
Been on television damn near as long as I have.
Yeah. You've been, I don't know.
No, but like,
probably, yeah, because you're younger than me a little bit. So,
bro.
Yeah.
My brother,
Yeah.
Chris Massey.
Yes, sir, Ski.
Yeah.
Had to pull up.
I mean, listen, first off, I want to say thank you because you're somebody, obviously, I wanted to interview anyway, just because you have so much history in the game and everything. But like, the fact that you even watched the show, reached out to me and was like, yo, we got to do it. Like, bro, because you know how niggas in this industry are. And there's certain people who grew up with, been in the same shit, and then they want to act funny style.
Yeah,
and
they want to act like they don't know you.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And it's unnecessary, too, because you know me, I'm like, nah, I don't really.
Exactly, bro. And the craziest part about that is, like, we all grew up together. We all know the same people. We gonna all see each other eventually.
100%.
No matter what. So it's like, for me, when I see any of us doing something positive,
Yes.
right? Like, obviously, I'm gonna be like, bro, keep doing your shit. This shit fire.
100%.
And that was the first thing, like, when I saw, I'm like, okay, we got the podcast going. Like, because that's, like, honestly, this is really kind of a dream of mine, too. The podcast shit. Like, I love it. Because I have so much stuff that I be wanting to say sometimes. Or I'll watch an interview and I'm like, I was there. It wasn't kind of like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and, you know, and I feel like certain people, they understand the power that they have growing up in LA or growing up around all this Hollywood shit, where they can kind of say, oh, I saw this, or I experienced this. And it's like, you know, I think it's sometimes good to have people that are very grounded.
Thank you.
To be able to kind of speak on a level where it's like, look, it's not that bad if you just do your job or go to this party and take your ass home. Or like, you feel me? Like,
listen.
Like,
not even to jump into shit. I've been telling people, even with all the puff stuff that's been coming out, and it's like, and it's, you know, I don't stand really anywhere on it because there's a lot of things that, having met this man or been around this man, certain things just seem a bit like, whoa, what exactly is going on? But I always say this. People say, oh, well, you know, these Diddy parties and these blah, blah, blah. And I say exactly what you said. I said, no, there are people who are so desperate and hungry for opportunities. They stick around places longer than they should.
Absolutely.
A party's 100%. Not bad at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. But nigga, if after 4:30 a.m., as a grown man, it might be time to take your ass home to your shit.
Your crib.
But not everyone feels that way. And then people want to stick around because they're opportunistic to an extent, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to think too, right? Us growing up out here and growing up around all these people and being at all these mansion parties and doing all these things, to people that are, you know, that don't live here, right? Or people like that are in like middle America that are like thinking like, oh, these wild, crazy parties. And it's like, but you don't understand that like this is a part of like the LA culture.
Yes.
In itself. Like, because, bro, I'm from Atlanta, right? So I know you from what, Chicago?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago,
right?
but I lived in Atlanta for about 2 years.
Right,
too.
yeah. So you got to think, even in Atlanta, right? Atlanta is a very fun, popping city, right? But guess what? Atlanta doesn't even have the mansion party culture that California and LA has.
100%.
So in Atlanta, after the club, it's the after hours. After the after hours, it's the strip club that don't close till 8 and 9 in the morning or something, right?
It's kind of how Miami is.
Exactly.
Miami has their after hours.
Everything is like you keep going, but you're going in the city, right? But they don't understand that in LA, the culture is you go to the club, somebody's about to say, mansion party up the street.
Because the club, what a lot of people don't understand too, the club closes at 2 a.m.
Exactly.
So if the club closes at 2, that doesn't really give you wiggle room if you want to be cool and show up to that bitch at 11:30, 12 o'clock anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've only been partying for an hour, hour and a half. Now you got to go.
Yeah, you done got dressed. you done called your girls up.
Probably went to dinner first.
Yeah, good dinner. Like, yeah, you done club for an hour and 15 minutes, and now you like, man, where we going after
The
this?
drinks just kicking in, and then you like, yeah, where we going? And then some rich nigga says, hey, I'm throwing a party at my
crib. And everyone's like, bet, we gonna slide. But I think that so many people believe that it's just like this, you know, invite only, very like exclusive, where only these elite people do this crazy. But it's like, bro, people are coming from whatever club, whatever. Everybody getting texts. People texting the address. Oh, pull up over here. It's lit.
And motherfuckers are acting like, stop it. Like, until you hear something negative about somebody, who's saying no to going to LeBron James' house? Who's saying no to going to Jay-Z's house? And I'm just naming people who haven't had a smudge on their name.
Yeah.
But you add that smudge, all of a sudden it's like, you went to what goes down at Jay-Z and Beyonce house after hours. Like the same thing that go down at any motherfucker's house after hours who got money and who's trying to have a good time with their people.
Yeah, with their people. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna like, and you know, even for me, man, like I've been to bro, I've seen you. We done all been at every type of mansion party you can think of, yacht party, like all this. And I can honestly say, my experience, which is what I always like to clarify when people, you know, obviously other people have their own experiences. I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying, but my experiences have always been positive, right? I've always been able to go with my friends, pull up with my homegirls or whoever. We go, we have fun. Some of the parties don't be fun.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you get there and you're like, big ass house, liquor, but this ain't it.
Like, I'm gone, right? So, but I think there are people, right, that, like you said, opportunistic, where there is always going to be someone that wants to say, like, I heard this shit before, and it really was cringing to me, because it was a person that I knew, right, who went to a party. It was a pretty famous person. And what they did was, the house was huge. Right. Big ass mansion. They like went in some room and like kind of like just slept on the bed, right? Type shit. Right. But nobody in that house knew this person stayed the night, right? Right. Nobody knew, right? But this person says this everywhere they go. Man, one time, bro, I spent the night at blah, blah, blah house. And it's like, technically, yes, you did spend the night at their house, but he didn't know you was there. Like, nobody knew you was like, when the party cleared out, your ass went home. Gone. Like, you feel me? Because you're in one of my extra 6 bedrooms. Bro, yeah. Like, I'm not... We're in a $60 million mansion, bro. Like, I didn't have my... He didn't have his housekeeper go check every room before. And also, if I got a $60 million mansion and I'm throwing a party, I'm just going to be transparent. I'm probably drunk. I'm probably enjoying myself. Yeah. So therefore, I don't think I'm doing the checks of who's in the house and who. That's actually my security guard should probably be fired. Yeah, he's gonna be fired for sure. Like, but what I'm saying to about that story is, there's ways where things can be truth, but also not be interpreted the way you could think it is. You get what I'm saying? Oh, no, I agree. So it's like you saying, oh, you slept over this famous girl's crib or this famous person's house, doesn't necessarily mean you slept with them. Right. Doesn't necessarily mean you had an interaction with them. Facts. Right. Yeah, you could be over a nigga house and never see them, bro. Bro, what? You know how many times I've been to, you've been to these parties where this person is like, the party is going on over here and he's with his homies and his friends up here in this room. Security is down there, like, nobody's going past this point. I was telling my friends like, this. All right, bet. Even back in the day, I remember me and my homie LaMicah, because we know Quincy, we know like Justin, all this. We were at Puff's house in New Jersey when we were like 16. Puff's not there. Yeah, we're like, nigga, we're just hanging. His son had a birthday party. Yep. He brought his friends back to the house. There was no real. They have their security guards, but there's no like, adults there. Like people have this this epiphany that like, if you go to Dr. Dre's house, you had to hang out with Dr. Dre. Yeah, and that's not what that is. There's niggas who work in these places. Yeah, the same way people go to Wells Fargo every day. Like these are businesses. Like. Yeah. No, that's true. And people don't understand that because, like I said, you have to experience it or you have to be around it, right? Yeah. So they don't it's hard to imagine that there's, some guys or some girls that were at a club somewhere that never met this person, right? But somebody said, hey, y'all want to come to this person's house?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah.
They guy who they didn't even.
They don't know. He don't even know the person that he's
Right.
inviting you to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they don't understand the chain of, it's a chain of
Chain
like
of
people just saying,
command.
hey, you want to come? Someone invited this person. He don't even know the person that owned his house. Somebody invited him. He invited this person. That person invited. So now it's like.
And they all inviting the same girls.
Exactly. Right?
So the girl done got 3 different texts with 3 different niggas.
And they gonna let you know. Yeah, they gonna let you know. Yeah, someone told me about that. Nah, hella niggas told you about that.
A couple niggas who can't even get in invited you.
They
You
want
ain't ticket.
Yeah, they want you to come so they can get in. For sure. For sure. And I said this too, and I'll say this forever. Beautiful women are the only people on earth that I believe have celebrity status without having celebrity status,
100%.
right? How beautiful woman can get into anywhere she wants to go, right? That's clubs, private,
Anywhere.
I don't care. It could, bro. I've one time I've seen it before. A private club, members only. Members only. I'm not gonna say the club name. I don't want nobody to get in trouble. Members only.
San Vicente Bungalow? Or
Bro, nah, it's upstairs. You gotta get on the elevator.
What are those?
Bruh, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, she thinks she about to get in because she pretty. She did.
She did?
Right? Guess why? A member walked past. Oh, you're having trouble? She's with me. Quit this. Don't even know your name. She's with me. She's good. Put her on my membership. Give her my guest pass. Okay, go ahead.
This just shows you, though, how... But, okay. Now let's just transform that story into... So apparently she couldn't get in, but what did she do? She didn't just go, I'm not wanted here. I guess I'll leave.
Yeah.
She waited around.
She waited for the moment that what she knew was bound to happen.
Bound.
Because I'm not gonna lie, she was fine. If I was a member, she was coming.
She was coming over me.
For sure. I was like, hey, if I was a member, I for sure would have been like, she good.
She good.
She was here last week. No, but it's true, right? So, with that being said, though, it's also very important that, there are good people and there are bad people on every level on earth, right? Some people can use this beauty for good. Some people can use it for evil.
Yep.
Some people are very, it's just with anybody. When you live on earth,
yes,
there are evil, there are good, there's people in between.
And that's what I was going to say. And there's a shit ton of gray area.
Yeah, the
gray area is the ocean.
the masses.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the ocean. And then good and bad are like our countries. Yeah. But that ocean is a whole lot of gray area based on how you look at it, based on your perspective, based on how you live.
Yeah.
And it's, bro, it's scary though to think that it's become a trend and popular to shit on people for personal gain. Because what I'm realizing is a lot of it feels like even the people on Twitter who do it, just the people on Twitter who, like you said, they live in middle America or different countries, they've never even seen Diddy's house from in front of it. Yeah, they've never seen a mansion of that size. They've never been around anyone famous ever.
Yeah.
And I think some of this comes from just, like you said, human nature is just jealousy. And I think that jealousy comes, the closer you get, the more malicious it gets. You talk shit when you're on the outside because, let's be real, it's like me tweeting like, man, fucking Met Gala, that shit's getting lame more year by year. I've never been invited. So I'm just hating. Yeah. I'm just blindly hating. Then you have people who get a little bit closer to these situations, and then it turns into, well, I didn't have a bad experience, but I never got what I really wanted to get out of this situation. Exactly. I didn't get enough.
Yeah.
So how can I leverage something I have to get more out of this?
Yeah.
And like you said, I don't think enough people take into account that no matter what walk of life, no matter what race, color, creed, gender, anything.
Yep.
Like you said, on all sides, there's good people, there's bad people, and there's a lot of gray area.
Bro, I tell my kids, I say, listen, you have to look at Earth as an aquarium.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So imagine Earth is just one bubble, right? We all live here. So every person you read about in the news that's chopping people up, that's eating people that serial rapists, serial murderers, like these people live amongst us, right? So people, they'll always, it's like this, they psych themselves out, right? To believe that this world is all bubbles and rainbows. And the quicker that you explain to your kids that, listen, you're going to have to be aware, because I have to, I teach my kids very young only because of the fact that, like, obviously I let them be kids, but I let them know certain things because kids they're kids, right? So they don't know when I tell them, don't walk outside without me, right? They don't understand the severity of why I'm saying 100%. Don't walk outside without me, because they could just walk outside and walk around and someone snatch them and they're gone.
They don't see the angle.
They don't see that. So the quicker that you let your kids know, like, listen, this is what's out here, right? And I think adults are still in the mindset of, oh, I live in Studio City, nothing can happen to me.
Right.
Oh, I live in Malibu, I'm fine, right? And it's like, okay, but there's so many things you have to worry about on Earth. Mother Nature's one of them. Mother Nature's one of them, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
fucking asteroid come blow. We're just done.
You can think you good in Malibu, and then a tsunami comes, and it's like y'all were the first ones to go, right?
Nigga, so his apartment in Hollywood is chilling,
right? So but it's like there's always things that you have to worry about, but then when you go down to the people aspect, it's like, and that's why I also kind of feel a lot of stuff with the media where people say, like, well, all these people can't be telling a lie, right? Or something like that, right? Yeah. And I always, I take that with a grain of salt. And, sometimes there are multiple victims or something like that. So, you have to... And
real evidence.
Cold,
hard facts, there's nothing you can say.
Nothing you can say about it. That's just what it is. But I do feel that, I travel a lot, right? So I travel around the world, and I noticed America is one of the only countries on earth that will have you on trial, right? But have all of the accusers,
all the most negative stuff out,
will be front page media, right? Before you have ever been given a fair trial, right? 100%. You go to any other country, it does not go that way. Like, you will not see someone, they'll say this person might have been arrested. They might say what the charges are, but they're not going to be boom, 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 boom. Right. And I realized that is because we live in the country that started this media, this cinema, you know what I mean? Once they kind of understood, what you could do with media, it was astonishing.
They've learned how to weaponize it. Because
absolutely.
You remember even back in the day, the National Enquirer, Jacko Wacko and all that. They even did that because they weren't allowed to print his name.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so they started calling him Jacko and all these kinds of things. But it's crazy how, like you said, I never thought about this, but it is crazy how that doesn't happen in other places. Because apparently I knew a girl who was from another country, and she was telling me she was on our subways, and she was looking at all the signs, and it has all this, safety information, so they can't sue you and all the. She was like, it's not like that in other countries, because you don't just sue people. They don't do that.
America has the most. We are the suing. That we invented that shit. I think. Cause I
had to.
Nobody else does it.
Nigga, we've sued McDonald's coffee for burning somebody.
Bro, no, the craziest one. The craziest one is the Red Bull one. You know that one, right?
No, what's that?
What?
No, what's this?
Bro, look it up. There's a lady. She sued Red Bull and won $8 million.
Don't tell me because it doesn't give you wings.
Yeah, because it didn't give you her wings. And that's why if you look at a Red Bull today, even their ads now, they spell wings with 9 eyes or 6 eyes or something. Now they spell it differently than actual wings because she got them for false advertising.
Red Bull, the popular energy company, has agreed to pay a substantial $13 million
$13 million. I'm sorry.
To settle a proposed class action lawsuit alleging false advertising.
Yeah, because it didn't give her wings. It was just everybody else was drinking that shit. She was the only one fuck Red Bull. They didn't give me wings.
So check this out. So if this can happen, and this is what I want people to think about. If this can happen to a corporation that we know sells fucking energy drinks, not wing attachments,
not a fucking magic potion.
Come on, we know what it does. And they can get sued for $13 million and have to pay that.
Have to pay it.
You don't think that can happen to an individual?
Exactly. And that's what people don't understand, because once you get into the bracket of, and it's also too, right? We've been around people who've been fired.
Yes.
We've been around people who've been like let go or like, or been blackballed or whatever the case might be, whatever you want to call it. And, there's always no telling what anyone is willing to do when their back is against the wall and they have nothing, or they feel like they're down and out, because there's people like us that even if we have a slump or we kind of fall, we finna, all right, brush that shit off. Let's focus on the next thing. Let's try to build here. Let's do that. But there are some people who don't have that to the point where they're like, well, he fired me. I'm going to sue you. People, here's the thing. People do that shit on regular jobs, right?
Yes.
Regular 9-11. Yeah. Like, so the people that go, well, this person suing this person, it's got to be true. It's like, how many of y'all done slipped and fell in a Target or a Walmart? Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying?
How many niggas got into a fender bender and then all of a sudden, my neck hurt.
Yeah, they neck hurt, they back hurt. Yeah. Oh, it's a Rolls Royce? Falling on the ground.
It's better in my pocket than his.
Yeah, exactly. He ain't gonna need it. Like, you feel me? Like,
and you don't know that this nigga's being sued by his wife and she's taking half his money and he needs the shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like,
you never know.
But people don't think about what other people are going through. Especially in the media, it's always like, see, that's why I have people all the time. See, that's why I would never go to. Well, bro, you weren't invited. But here's the thing, though, right? If you were invited, all right, I can almost guarantee you. Yeah, there are some people. I'm not gonna say. There's some people who might be like, no, I'm good.
Right.
But just an average human being, let's just say, like, because all of us, that's who we all are. We're just natural human beings. There's gonna be, like, I don't care who you are, you're gonna be like, damn, I watch this person's movies, or I listen to this person's music.
Exactly.
Oh, you know what? I can go see what his house is like and possibly meet him. Shit, let's go.
And you know what people don't take into account, as going to places like that are some of the most inspiring things you can ever see.
Absolutely. 100%.
And to see
100%.
like a literal black man who looks like me.
Yeah.
And I walk into his fucking $100 million Beverly Hills mansion or his $100 million Miami. Well, this is pretty impressive because I don't know any other that I can walk into like, you know what I'm getting at, generally speaking.
Yeah.
No.
It's true. And honestly, like, especially LA, like I say this shit too, it's like everyone who says they know somebody that got a crazy house or anywhere, I'm like, bro, until you come to Los Angeles, California, bro, it's like I've seen houses where I could be like, no, there's nobody's house looking like this. That I've been to some cribs.
Bro, I've been
to some cribs.
One of the craziest cribs out here I've been to was after, you know how they do the Nobu 4th of July? Mm-hmm. And then it was in Malibu. He's like one of the top real estate guys out there. Bro. Well, when I tell you, he has the largest private pool in like California or something like that.
Yeah. Going
crazy. It was insane. And then his pool is on the ocean. Yeah. So it's like what?
It's like, yeah.
All glass. Just what?
Yeah.
What? I've seen the ad. I've seen the house in ads after going type shit. You know what I mean? But it's just like you see these things and you're just like,
yeah, that shit inspires.
This shit looks like a museum. Like, don't forget, someone owns the Getty Villa.
Yeah.
So it's a Getty. Yeah. They own that.
Yeah,
that is theirs.
Yeah. That's
like,
crazy.
What are we talking about?
The one in Malibu? Yeah. That shit's stupid.
Like, what?
That shit's stupid.
You own this much property in Malibu?
Yeah.
And then you found a way to put it under the city so they could pay for it. Y'all are. Yeah. Now you gonna tell me people who have that much money, I wonder what the Getty's been up to their whole lives. I'm sure there's something. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like football. You can call a foul on every play. Once you make a certain amount of money, there's people gunning to get you. There's things you're just doing that is just allowed to you or afforded to you.
Yep.
And also, if you're allowed to do certain things, there's a lot of people who know you're allowed to do it, and they're also helping you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. An
ecosystem doesn't work with one person.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that goes in with everything.
Everything.
Yeah, no, that's wild, bro.
No, it's good. I like how we just started off with that
Yeah,
just there. We were already there though. We were already
Yeah, we was kind of there.
Yeah, no, I mean it's crazy. Like, not even not to be a dead horse, but it's like the same thing we're talking about. Even with like we both work with Dan. I had you know what I mean. I like you said can't disregard anyone else's situation, but I had great experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as being on a show, working, doing X, Y, and Z,
Absolutely.
I didn't have a problem, but I also know I had very, very, very active parents. Like when I was shooting my show, bro, they wanted me to move to Los Angeles. My parents were like, no. Bro, I shot my show Monday through Thursday. I went to school in Chicago, Southside Chicago.
Damn.
Thursday night, I'd fly out, first class, sweet when I get here, whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Table read Friday. Saturday, we do the run through. We shot on Sundays because my parents were like, he's not moving here.
Yeah.
So, that's extra money across the board.
Extra bread, yeah.
Shot on Sunday night, I'd be back on a flight back to Chicago. I was in school on Monday.
Yeah. Yo, and that's the key, right? I'm so glad you said that because it's about really having active, good parents, right? Because there's also, active parents that are probably not the best suit. So it's a double-edged sword. We did get lucky having good parents that were there. And, and like for me, I said this before, I had nothing but positive experiences with Dan and filming the shows. So for me, it was, my heart goes out to anyone that was affected by anything that ever happened. But, for me, it was like I loved and enjoyed every moment, and I hear people say about like the toxic work environment and those things like that. And I'm like, I never felt that, because I would, like I said earlier, do my job, go home.
I wasn't sticking around nowhere. I wasn't,
You know what I'm saying? I'm not hanging out on set till everyone else is done. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm done. All right, we out.
Hit me when y'all done. And
because I remember even as a kid, I used to be like, can I just stay a little bit and like watch them film this last scene? My dad's like, no. Get in the car. We leaving.
We leaving.
Like, what are you talking about?
We got to leave early today.
They're not paying you to stay here any longer. Let's go.
And it goes back to what we were talking about before the episode too. I think that great parenting, even like it comes down to also our parents like having their shit together. Like they did this for us. Like they did this so we could have something, opposed to, there's a lot of kids who their parents put them in this because it's like, oh, whoa, I got a cute kid. This is a cash cow.
Yeah.
And I can run it up and maybe I want it to be on TV back in the day.
Yeah, maybe I can get my script in there.
Then now that I'm older, I even started realizing it could be something as simple as, hey, I don't come from shit. And, I kind of like being able to go to the country club and go to all this shit I'm not privy to.
But you know what, though? I'm so glad you said that because that's so true and so real. But, like, it's so funny, man. Like, me and my dad have a really great relationship. Like, I love my dad to death. And shout out to my dad, Mike. And he instilled a lot of stuff in us. But what I like to add is me and my brother had everything we ever wanted as kids, right? My dad wasn't wealthy, right? He wasn't a super rich man. Anything, when I say anything, like, bro, I call my dad, and it was funny. I'll say this on your podcast, but I called my dad, man, and I had a conversation with him about it. Was one of my friends had passed and something like that. One of my friends had passed, and I was talking to him, and he said some of the realest shit in the world to me, and like it was the weirdest thing because like I actually like. I started like crying and I started all this shit. But I started thinking, I'm like, man, he said, I made sure you and your brother had whatever you wanted. He said, I don't care. He said, your mom, my dad would tell me, don't buy them kids that. My dad be like, these my kids. He said, they want it? Fuck it. I'm gonna get it for them. And that's how my dad was, right? And it was really cool because when we got on television and all this, a lot of people believe that, oh, y'all got all this because y'all on TV, or y'all got this because, and that's like, when I look back at it, my life, I'm like, nah, bro, I had this, all this, because my dad worked every day. And he still does to this day. And I love him for that, and I appreciate him for that, because I've watched a lot of people that were in the same position as I am fall out with their parents about money, or fall out with, this person for doing this and that. But, as a kid, I remember I used to get mad with my dad, because he would come to LA, he would take me to set, do all this. But then when my show would be done filming, because we would do like 13 episodes. Okay. But Kyle's show would always do like 26, 25.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So when my show would end, my dad would be like, all right, you're going to go to set with your mom and your brother. I'm going to go back home and go to work. Right? And I used to be like, what do you got to go to work for? Like why? Like, we good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, but now, man, as an adult, I appreciate him every day for that. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I just have to piggyback off of what you just said. Everything you just said, inversed.
Yeah.
Bro, my dad, the whole time, my dad went straight out. Listen, man, he would come out here when I had to do shoots, XYZ. He'd still be moving on the job. He on call. This man has never not been on call. Entire life. Fly back when I did The Wire and had to be gone for extended periods. My mom went with me, and then he would
come back and forth.
Bro, and it's just same thing. Like, a lot of people just assumed it's one thing, but it's also like, no, like my dad always had a thing. He was like, if you're working, you get stuff. Yeah. But it wasn't like, oh, well, I'm going to take all it was like, no, you're working, you get stuff, because I want to show you as a kid, when you work, you earn things.
Exactly.
So, obviously, what does money mean to you? Like we were talking about earlier. It means nothing really when you're like, yeah. But I get that new Xbox, or I get that new blah, 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 because it's like, no, you're working, bro. Yeah. So, cool.
And you know what's so cool, too? My mom and dad, I love them for this, too. We would go on, we would do like, every year we do like a vacation somewhere. Oh, that's dope. So, my dad would, my mom was she's very frivolous with money. She likes to,
frugal?
Frugal. Sorry, not frivolous, frugal. She's very like tight with money, right? But see, my dad, because my dad has a trade and he gets money every day. Right. So for him, it's like, I don't care. I love my dad, but it's like, it was a double-edged sword, because my dad also taught me how to spend money, but it was because, but it's because in his defense, he can. Right. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I learned that as I got older, because, what we do, we make our little money here and money there and money here, and then but we spending, and then it's like, this gone, this done dried up a little bit. Now you got this.
It's the lump sums, because it looks so good in a lump. Because you're like, man, niggas go to work for weeks and don't get this. Exactly. But then you don't work for weeks after this.
It's the turtle race, right? Yeah. Like when you look at it, it's like all the money that I've ever made, he's just been doing this the whole time. That's it, bro. I be looking at my shit be coming like, and I'm like, he's like,
every day, gotta go do this. And then I got a little extra thing side job.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
And then you're like, yo, how did? Right.
It's like, how I ain't got no money right now.
Because and this leads me to, and I would love to hear what you think about this, but it leads me to what you said earlier about how both our parents are things that are recession proof.
Yeah, absolutely.
Industries that are recession proof. Yeah. And then two, it makes me wonder though, like, I want your opinion, but I see the entertainment industry, and I won't say entertainment, I will say television, film and television. I don't see it as a business that is growing. I see it as a business that is falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And I wonder how the system that's in place, whether from everything from the reps to the this to the that, how do they expect this to continue going? Especially when, let's be real, I know for sure, because I know you've auditioned for things and then not gotten it, and then saw somebody who just is an influencer and he got it. And it's like,
nah, I had even worse. Mine be worse, bro, because mine are funny. Because it'd be some like I'll never forget. I auditioned for Ice Cube in NWA, and I'm like, not only did I not get it, but you just picked your son. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, if you knew you was finna use him this whole time, bro, why waste my time? You know what I'm saying?
I know,
it's like,
bro.
Like those be the ones that like really get to me a little more, because it's like, I don't mind, like, I'm a person that writes scripts, do all this shit myself now, but I don't mind someone telling me, nah, I got someone for this one. I got this guy in mind for this one, but you're auditioning for these roles.
Right.
Because if that was my script or that was my production, I'm like, my son's going to play me. So audition everybody else, all the other roles. Like, you know
Yeah, we're not going to even entertain it.
Like, don't have me in here straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. Like, you feel me? I'm in here rapping my heart out.
Yo,
I was going in.
I've been thinking to myself, bro, you know niggas have to watch these videos and just laugh. The casting directors and shit sometimes have to just watch these things and just laugh. Because it's such a game. It's such a game at a certain point, because it's like, I've hit that thing where it's like, okay, if I'm going in for something and I don't see it or it doesn't really make sense, I'm like, I can't give you this time. I can't give you this. What are we doing here? Yeah. Also, you've been in the industry long enough, same with myself, is we've done a lot of really cool shit.
Yeah.
And we know how much it actually takes to move that needle.
Yeah, for sure.
So you really about to waste my time and make me read for this fucking Law and Order?
Well,
because that's not going to move the needle on my career in the slightest.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? We grew up in the time where it was very competitive, right?
Yeah.
We had where the reason why we all know each other is because we was all at the auditions like, oh, there go Malcolm. What's up, bruh? What's up, Maestro? Like, we
all with the same haircut.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, I would see mine was Joshua Washington. That bro, Joshua used to get every role I auditioned for.
Tyler James Williams, bro.
Oh, that's your.
That nigga got everything.
Bro, but the thing is, it created these cool little, like, you know, these bonds that you have with these people where it's like you no matter what, we're all in, you know, quote unquote competition in the audition room.
Only when we're working on their shit.
Exactly. But when we're all together, it's all love. It's all like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that was like the cool part I felt about us was like when I would see you on TV or like, bro, matter of fact, I think I FaceTimed you one time. Remember? I went to my boy's crib.
Oh yeah. It was Fear, right? Fear the Walking Dead, or was it?
No, it was The Wire.
Oh, he's watching The Wire?
Bro, I walk into my homie crib. They got all the lights off. It's hella niggas just smoking, watching The Wire. And I'm like, I walk in, I'm like, bro, what? And I guess one of the dudes hadn't seen it, so they put it on for him. And I'm like, look at my nigga Maestro. I FaceTimed him. I'm like, he was like, you know that nigga? Bro, one of them got on there. He's like, bro, why you snitch, bro? Why you a snitching, bro? I'm like, bro, chill. Bro, relax.
Relax. It's a rope.
Relax, bro. Like, don't be yelling at the homie on the phone for snitching. Like, chill out.
But it's cool, though, too, because I think we did it in a time, or we were doing it steadily at a time when being on TV really, really meant something.
Yeah.
If you were in movies and on TV in that time, like, no, bro, like that was the only way to see people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like before TV, it was the radio.
Yeah, facts.
You feel me? And then
the radio was for hella long.
So imagine if you're the nigga who had the hottest radio show. Were, and then they started doing, what was it? The silent films.
Yeah.
And then when them talkies came out, fuck those guys. Mm-hmm. And so you just look at how it's moved on, but it's like, once we got the internet, bro.
Yeah, but I think the fucked up part about the internet is it created all these
pseudo stars.
Yeah, but like not even that. The ones that I feel like do the most damage to our culture.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna just talk about that.
Yeah,
is the ones where it's like every time you go on your Instagram, it's like the clip of the TV show is just people fighting.
Yeah,
like you feel me? Like that to me. Is where I felt like it took a turn for the worse. Because don't get me wrong, right? We grew up watching shit like Jerry Springer and shit too, right? And I think that was the catalyst.
But that was so far and few between back then. It was like Jerry, Jenny.
Yeah, and Jerry was like
top of the.
But they were like in their own like lane where they were like pretty much being threatened to be shut down every other week as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like
They were
weren't
Twitter before Twitter.
Yeah, like they weren't on good terms with standards and practices. Like they ruffled a lot of feathers, right? And I think that once it was okay that it showed that Jerry Springer has the hottest show and all they're doing is stupid ass bitch. Blah, 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 blah.
And Maury said, fuck this. He said, you are not the father. He said, I'm only doing these.
Yeah, he was the DNA test man, right? So it's like we grew up with this and it was like, it was cool. It was never really cool, but it was like, it was a hot thing, right? And I think that those things were the catalyst for all the shit that we got now. And, you know, I've seen girls, you know, like, bro, I'm trying to get on this show. And I'm like, this show, all they doing is fighting. Like, why you want to get on this show? Like, but they want to be recognized, right? Yeah. And I think recognition is the biggest drug of all time. It's
trumped talent. It's trumped. It's
meth,
people just want to be famous.
Trumped crack, all that.
Well, because we're also addicted because, okay, attention. Mm-hmm. We're fortunate enough we have garnered attention based on things people can watch or like a skill of sorts.
Yeah.
But when you see people who are making all this money, I mean, let's be real. This is the Kim Kardashian effect. She also had a negative. Paris Hilton. Like, you know, these people started seeing like, well, these people are just famous because they're famous. So how can and that began that. Then reality TV and they only fight shows. But I think those were made because, remember water cooler talk? They used to be like, oh, we got to have the show and the water cooler talk's going to be about the episode and this is the thing. Mm-hmm. Well, we started realizing that at water coolers or wherever people gather, the internet, they don't really generally care about TV show. They're not about to sit and have a discourse about a television show. There's some every once in a while that come along that they do that with. Snowfall, Power, The Wire, Soprano. Like these are things, but not everything.
Yeah.
But a motherfucker fighting over some petty shit that can give us a 30-second, 1-minute clip that will get 100 million views on Twitter. Yes, that is, we need that because then people will watch the show. 90 Day Fiance, I be watching shows and shit like that. I'd be like, bro, they have 90 Day Fiance. They have 90 Days the Other Way. They have the first 90 days, before the 90 days. They have 90 Day Fiance Therapy something. They have like 10 spinoffs of the same show that's basically shot like fucking old MTV shows in 2024.
Yeah.
It costs them nothing.
Yeah.
And that's going to get more views than somebody who goes out here and spends $1 million an episode trying to shoot something. Because people don't care. You have film buffs, and then you have people who they watch movies as a pastime.
Yeah, or they watch whatever they see on their phone.
Trending.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that, to me, is like, you know, I hate that also. I'm so glad you brought up that word, trending, right? Because I think that also kind of leverages certain projects over certain shit, right?
100%.
Because you go on Netflix, this is trending. It's like, this shit just dropped. Like, how is it trending? You put it right in the front. Because exactly. You put it right here. Like
number one in the world. Well, yeah, because it's number one, so everyone's going to click it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You have no data for that.
At all.
It just dropped. How you going to say this is the number? This is what everyone watching right now. But it's the mind control. And it happens on a very minimal basis where people think it's not happening to them.
Well, here's
the thing. You might have wanted to watch some shit that was completely separate from that.
Yes.
But the moment they put, this is what everyone else is watching.
Well, I got to be up on the conversation.
Oh, I got to make sure I know what. Oh, this it's not, because like, you know, like, bro, I'm sure you've had it. Like your girl will be like, oh, this is number one. Yeah. What's this? It's just not number one.
Or they just turn it on. I'll be like, how'd you pick this?
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, right, because it's right there.
Well, let me say this. A movie that is really dope, Emma Stone, you killed this role. If you're watching this, Emma Stone, Poor Things. One of the best movies I've seen. I got to give it another shot. I started it. I pressed start, watch and it just, I wasn't really, and it just was real left, and I was like, okay, you gotta watch it though, bro. You got to watch it.
I'll give it. The fact you're saying that, I'll give it another shot.
Listen, my girl put it on. I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Like what?
That's exactly what happened with me,
bro. a good little 10 minutes in, I'm like, yo.
Okay.
30 minutes in, you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Okay.
It's by far one of the best movies I've seen all year.
Okay. I gotta give it a shot.
And I watched it without knowing nothing about it, without seeing a trailer.
I like watching movies like that.
That's how I do too.
A lot of times I don't want to watch the trailer. I don't even want to read the synopsis. I base it on, once again, old school, who's in the movie. So if I see too many names that are like buzz names, I'm out. But if I see like solid like I can see a movie that I have no interest in, but I'm like, damn, these are two solid actors. Let me give it a shot.
But see, I think mine goes in reverse sometimes, right? It could be someone that is really big, and I'm kind of like, oh, I'll be like, well, it's Denzel. Well, Denzel, let me say this. Denzel's different. Because Denzel's like, nigga, he ain't getting in no shit that's trash. Like, that's why I love Denzel.
He's not even going to be on your TV.
Yeah.
No, he's movies only.
Bro, bro, it's funny, bro, because I be putting people on the like old Denzel movies that I fuck with, and he is probably the only person where no one ever says anything like, man, this shit, like, you could put on a movie with anybody else and be like, man, I want to see this shit. But Denzel, nobody says nothing. I've noticed that.
True.
You can put a Denzel movie on, he'd be like, I ain't never seen this.
Literally, and niggas gonna sit
like,
right back and watch it.
Okay. Denzel.
Or they gonna be like, oh yeah, this is my shit.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
really the most you might get is like on some out of time shit. You might be like, oh yeah, this was a weird one for Zell, but you still gonna watch it.
Even still, Out of Time had, what's her name? Sanaa Lathan? No.
No. Even
Mendez.
Even
Yeah,
Mendez.
we locked in.
Yeah, we locked in.
We locked in. Like, what? Denzel, people be sleeping on Denzel. He had them ones in his movies too.
Bro,
for
classics. Sure. And he's done like ones that we just like Malcolm X and fucking Hurricane.
Wait, hold on.
Undeniable.
You just cracked the code. I just realized something.
What?
Eva Mendes was also in Training Day.
Oh, you didn't know, but she's also in Hitch.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like that's two Denzels. I was like, I didn't know
she's
that.
in a couple Denzels.
Oh yeah.
I think Denzel's a big fan of her work.
He's like, yeah, go ahead and run her back.
Yeah, I think Will's a big fan too. I think she's a very.
She was, bro. She's still
a good
fire.
actress though, and she's bad. Yeah.
No, one of my favorite roles she ever did though was it All About the Benjamins? To me, that was just fun,
that is
bro.
her.
That's a great
movie.
That was a fun movie for them. Yeah. I think like as a whole, like that whole movie was fire.
Going back to what you were talking about with the For Yous and the trendings, like as far as like movies. So I had always said this, and I don't know if you saw that post they put up where it's like, oh, Netflix says that like the covers, they use data and metrics. So you see certain covers. You know how sometimes you'll click on a movie and it won't have nothing to do with the black woman on the cover, but you see the black woman because they know what your household is and they know. So I'm sure in an Asian household, there's an Asian man on the cover. Whoever's the one Asian in the movie, he's on your cover. So Netflix does that the same way they do For You on TikTok.
I hate that.
You know why, right? Well, why I hate it and what's so bad about it is because it perpetuates what you already think.
But I also feel like that's not what here's the thing. I think all those algorithms and stuff need to be changed because for one, like I thought about it the other day, on my like let's say my Netflix account versus like someone else's. If I wanted to watch Saving Private Ryan one night, it doesn't mean I want you to recommend every military movie for me for the next fucking 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's bullshit.
I was just in the mood.
Or just because I watched Colors don't mean I want to watch every gang-related movie. Like, take that shit.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, like, take that shit down. Like, because now my shit looking ratchet when friends come over.
But that's what they do. You watched what? Someone watched a Tyler Perry movie once on my shit.
We gonna give you all of them on your shit.
But
you got to have all of them in a row, and you're like, bro, that's not what I just because I watched it that one night doesn't mean I want to be recommended this movie for 2 weeks in a row.
They like to put people in boxes because the more, once again, black and white you think, it's the same with politics. Like, if you are on Facebook, this is how they get a lot of old people. If you are on Facebook as an old person and you've liked a couple posts, you're an older black woman. I see it with my parents. You Democratic. You like a couple Democratic posts. You will never see a proper Republican post ever on your feed again, damn near. Because you're not going to see that. You're only going to see wild shit. And vice versa. That redneck who's sitting out there and he's like, I love this Donald Trump post. Let's go. he's never going to see a sensible Democratic post because they're keeping you in your world because he wants to see stuff that says Trump's the man and my mama want to see stuff that says he's the devil. So therefore, it's going to separate these things and now there's no real conversation to be had.
Well, I think separation is always been the way of life. That has been the fucking... That has
Divide
been the
and conquer.
catalyst of divide and conquer.
Right.
Like, that's how it has to. That's how they keep everyone
In place.
Because the moment you do have unity is when shit gets real.
Well,
right?
if we all ask the same questions and we all come together and we go, wait a minute, we don't want this, right? As a collective, there's more of us than there is of them.
Well, I'll tell you the greatest. This will probably ruffle some feathers, but some one of the greatest divide and conquer situations we can think of right now is like even like Middle East.
Yes.
That
100%.
word, Middle East.
Yeah. Like even just say that.
Like Middle East of what though? Right? Have you ever thought about that? Like what is it the Middle East of? And it's really just Africa in a sense, right?
Right.
So I'm not gonna say too much, but like I just feel like for me, I'm very big on Africa and culture. Have you ever been?
It's crazy you say this. I've never been, and me and my girl were just talking. She was like, she kept saying, "Man, you gotta pick something you want to do for your birthday. You gotta pick something." And I'm like, that might be it because I want to see it. I want to go. I've heard it's beautiful. What they show you is not really.
So yeah, let's talk about that, right? So one thing about Africa that I learned, I was 16 the first time I went. And we went with actually Lou Gossett Jr., rest in peace.
Wow.
Yeah, we were there with him, Roger Moore, Shannon Elizabeth, Dean Cain.
Oh, wow.
Michael Jordan's mother was there with us.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, you was there.
Yeah. We went there. We built a school, abandoned baby center, fed kids in Africa and all this. But what I learned, right, when you go there is everything that you've ever seen on television from a child up until an adult is all propaganda, right? It's all propaganda to make us in America, black men, believe that Africa is dirty, it's poor,
right?
There are starving children, right? And the truth of the matter is there's poor, dirty, starving children everywhere in the world.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Here in this country, there are starving children.
Oh, well, they show you one version of Hollywood Boulevard, but we know what it looks like.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So what happens is they use just that to say this is what Africa is, right? It's like even like down to, I'm sure you have heard it as a kid, his kids starving in Africa.
Yep.
Right? Why Africa? There's kids starving in Baltimore. There's kids starving in Atlanta. There's kids starving in downtown LA.
Right.
There's kids starving everywhere that people don't look out for.
And there's a ton of other countries too that we can name that are white people and not just
absolutely, right?
Yeah.
So I think what happens is once you go there and you understand, like, you're walking around a place where everyone looks like you, right? You check into the hotel, everyone looks like you. Bring the manager out here, he look like you. You call your Uber, he look like you, right? Everywhere you go, when people in America, we like, oh, support black business, nigga, all black business.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Like when you think like that, like everybody in Kenya, when you go there, it's like, you know, black banks, black everything.
Right.
And you're not, for me, it's like so much black business here. But it's like, no, nigga,
this is what it is.
We've been doing this, right? But like for me, I think all of us, black men in America, have to go. We have to go. Because the moment we go there, it breaks that hold that it has on your mind to where you meet some of the nicest people in the world that I know from Africa that I still keep in contact with to this day, right? That check on me, how you been, brother? Just calling to see how you were. Like I got my boy Tyrone from Kenya. He called me not too long ago, FaceTime me, like, just take a shot for your birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like taking a shot with him from 8,000 miles away. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is you have to experience the culture there to understand what we're really missing. And what we're really missing is we don't have our heritage, right? We're the only people on earth. That's why when people say like, oh, you know, these young black kids, like I feel for a lot of them that did not have the parents we had or did not have the life choices that drove them in the right direction. But you have to understand, we don't have any of the things that everyone else that has here has.
100%.
So even like, you know, our Hispanic immigrants, they come here, they still have their native tongue, they still have their culture, they still know where they're from,
Where they
in
came
Mexico,
from. Yeah.
right? Or someone from, you know, any other country.
Well, you hear it all the time. Oh, well, my family was half German and Portuguese.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You're like, right.
Yeah,
so,
my mother's Dutch. My mom is, and it's like, okay, you know exactly where you came from, right?
Yeah.
And black people in America are the only human beings on earth who had their ancestry stolen from them, robbed from them, and then are forced to pay to know what it is.
Right. And I even noticed with because I've been watching more things on, like I've been becoming a history buff, and then you start to realize also how many, like even from day one, bro, other countries were just splitting up Africa. Like, nah, I run this part, I run the Congo, I run the, you know, it's.
So you'll see a difference too, like, right, if you go, like, what I suggest you go to, Kenya or South Africa. I love Kenya, like the culture, the people, everything amazing there. Tanzania as well, beautiful. Okay. But the one thing about what you're saying about the racial divide and all that, right? So South Africa, you go to Johannesburg, right? That's where you and I and us, we can go and feel like
America.
Oh yeah, no. You feel you're gonna get the African culture. You're gonna see us, right? But now you get on a flight for 1 hour, you go to Cape Town, and you're gonna think you landed in London, or you're gonna think you landed in Norway.
Wow.
Right? And you're sitting there, you're looking around, and you're like we're like pretty much the only black people here, right? And it shows you that when people, you know, we grew up in America, so we think America's the place where, you know, but it shows you like they've conquered a lot of places, you know, and Africa was one of them. They have a place in South Africa called East London, right? Like, so just imagine,
London.
like East London. That's like an actual town,
right? Because the British had it so early.
Yeah, and they, you know, for the most part, still have, but it's.
You know, it's also the only country that doesn't have nukes.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but it's just. But my point that I'm getting at is just like look how
it's a lot more that they got.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. But like, it's one that, like, no, there's a lot. Most have nukes. Nigga, North Korea got nukes.
Well, yeah, but that's a different type.
That's
of
a whole different type. Yeah,
like,
that is. Yeah,
you feel me?
Because
they got other people think they just working by themselves. They're not just by themselves. Like, everyone just play dumb, like, oh, we don't know what they're doing over there, but they got some allies.
They sending parts and shit. Yeah,
ain't nobody send nobody over there.
Facts.
Yeah, remember that, because always know if they want to pull up, they gonna pull up. Like, that's just how our country is always done. So there's a reason why we like, we're gonna leave them alone.
Because Trump went up there.
I can't remember who it was. It was an old it was a Napoleon or something who said, I can't remember who it was, but they said that China is a sleeping giant that no man should ever wish to wake. Where they're like, because if you feel the wrath of her, you feel it for the next, you gonna feel it, bro.
I didn't realize, bro. I was doing some looking up some stuff in history. Like, did you know that the Japanese were so badass?
Bro, what do you
like?
mean?
No, like they're military back in the day. Like that was why they knew. That's why America nuked them, because it was like after they hit, they were such a threat.
Bro, listen, they don't play no games. And here's the thing. America learned that about a lot of Asian countries. Yeah. They learned that about Vietnam. Bro, listen. I went to Vietnam, right? There's a place, if you ever go, it's called they have the military historical sites. Okay. They have the Coogee tunnels, right?
Okay, I've heard of those.
Bro, listen. These people were so prepared. Bro, listen. When I realized how many people died in Vietnam, right, and then I walked through those tunnels, I said, we did not ever stand a chance. Right. Bro, these people had tunnel systems that went on for like 40, 50 miles, bro. Underneath. God. Bunkers, rooms that open up to the size of this.
So they could just pop out and bang.
Bro, listen, there was one thing they showed us, it was a mannequin holding a gun with like the bullets and stuff kind of, right? And they're doing this, And you see the mannequin pointing a gun out of a slit that's about this big, right? You see like a piece of rock or something kind of above it, and it's just dirt below. They say, remember this area. I say, okay. We walk out the tunnel. We come out up through the stairs, go out the tunnel. They said, do you see where the gunner was shooting? I'm like, right there? Bro, it's a boulder. A humongous boulder in the wilderness. Okay, imagine this. A boulder surrounded by trees, vines, all this shit. This man is standing in the like this, but he's underground. So like from your perspective, so outside on the ground, I see a big ass boulder, trees everywhere, bushes everywhere. There's a slit underneath the boulder, bro, where this man could fire rounds over anybody coming over the hill. So I'm like, just seeing that one area, and then if you ever go back now, watch any of those old Vietnam movies and all that shit, you'll always see where they're like, they don't know what, they just be shooting. They don't know where they're shooting from. They said Americans did, I think they found out about the tunnels 2 years into the war, or some shit like that. That's when they created the bunker busters.
Okay.
So just imagine how many men running blindly through the forest were just getting mowed down.
Yeah.
And they're throwing grenades, they're shooting through the woods, and these people are still shooting. But I found out the Vietnamese had been invaded by the French before. And what happened was the French tortured them, did a lot of bad things in Hanoi. They call it Hanoi Hilton. So now it's Ho Chi Minh City, but back then it was Saigon and like all that.
Right.
But yeah, the French came, invaded, they left after torturing everyone and then pretty much doing all these bad things. They left. So when they left, the Vietnamese said, no one else will ever come and take over on our soil again. So they built these tunnel systems in top secret for the tunnel systems took like 10 years or 15 years to construct.
And what year, and you gotta think what year they did this?
Bro, we're talking about lights. We're talking about ventilation. We're talking about, bro, we would walk down, I swear to you, the tunnels, and they made the tunnels small because the Vietnamese men are small.
So Americans would be fucked up.
So they knew they would come in, if they did find the tunnels, they would come in wearing all their gear, all their packs, so they could not fit. So they would have to strip.
And we got you.
They got you. Once you, bro, they had one, we walked down to another area, they said this was an escape route. So they had you see a little puddle. It's like, it looked like a little thing of water, right? These motherfuckers are so smart. You jump into the water, right? They knew no American GI is following you. Once he following you, you dive into the murky water like, in the cave. They're like, nah, he's got that one, right? But guess what? They would go through. They would swim. They would come out on a lake on the other side. They would swim up and out, and they'd be on a lake that was completely outside of that tunnel. Damn. So when I saw this, I'm like, bro, they had everything in order. So just imagine somebody setting up all that, and then you talking about we about to pull up. Okay,
bet.
Come on.
Yeah. And you have no intel, no back.
None.
Yeah.
They said they did it in top secret. No one knew that they had ever built those tunnels. They just been over there. So imagine, like the French when they left, they're like, oh, we got them in order. They came back like, nah, it's not going down like that no more, bro. Like, that shit's not happening again. Like, and I always take my hat off to that because, back then, that was the toughest shit in the world, bro. You had guys like me, you, we're going to war.
Yeah, real warfare too. Trench warfare.
People fail to realize these people had regular working jobs or were fresh out of high school. Right. Never shot a gun in their life.
These niggas are not G.I. Joe.
Yeah, like niggas were teachers. Like people were like, you know what I mean? Like had a desk job. And you're like, all right, you're going to
drafted.
Yeah, you're going to Vietnam. Right? So it's like back then I felt for all those men because it's like that was some real, like, bro, to go through that shit and to come home. Anyone that came home, yeah. It's like, bro, you should have been praised. Like,
I mean, bro, that's what it feels like. Low key kind of happened with Afghanistan. Like people aren't like for how long people had to go through what they went through out there and for us to just leave. and not like we just left
and
then
left them too.
The Taliban
Yeah.
runs it again.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so we did 20 years over there, and think how many young men were just over there.
Yeah.
And just got
Well, because they said, old men start wars and young men die in wars.
facts.
And that's just the facts. It's like the old man sitting at his desk is the one who's going to send all your young sons and brothers over to go fight for him. He's not getting on the battlefield.
He don't even know you.
Yeah, he doesn't know you at all. He's sending you, and then he might come by and give a little speech and give you a little salute, but it ain't gonna be to you directly. It's gonna be to all y'all before you get on those planes.
The guy we got now, I know he ain't fighting no war.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
Fighting a war with himself.
yo, you gotta chill.
Fighting a war within his own mind.
It was a war of time. Man.
War of time. Oh, bro.
But yeah, no, I think it's just very important that people learn to read between the lines on a lot of shit. I think a lot of the culture right now is just bad, bro, and it looks bad too because you're looking at, like you said, the inspiring Black people that we all had to, and not saying we wanted to lead these people's lives, but saying that, just seeing someone that looked like you succeed
And accomplish
something, it's like, it was always really cool to see that because every other culture has that.
That's what I was gonna say. The fucked up thing I feel like what's the worst for us is we don't just have a bunch of people to just go, well, that guy's gone. Like, okay, there's probably people at one point who were like, man, people who want to be movie producers, white people. They're like, I want to be like Harvey Weinstein. And then you realize, fuck, can't be that guy.
Can't say that name.
Can't say that name anymore. Okay, so I'll move on. I'll be one of these other. Maybe I want to be Jeff Bezos. Maybe I want to be Elon Musk. Maybe I want. And it's like for us, a lot of times it's like, okay, well, so now you've taken Diddy, so we still got Jay-Z, or you took Russell Simmons.
He left.
You took Bill. Yeah, well, he left, but they were gonna take him if he didn't leave. He said, you know what? I'm gonna dismiss myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna just step out of this.
And then what's his name? They got rid of Cosby. I'm just saying when you start going down the list, so it's like I got like I said, Bob Johnson, Jay-Z, like billionaire Black people, and then let's be real, all the rest are gonna be like what, athletes?
Yeah.
And that's
for the most part.
Yeah, and it's just kind of crazy
you got like
Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Or Robert Smith. He's a big one.
Robert Smith. Oh.
Yeah,
you said no. He one of them ones. Yeah.
He's one of them ones.
Let me see, Robert
he's also a very good humanitarian for Black people too.
Robert F. Smith, chairperson.
He gave.
I've definitely seen him. Yeah, I know.
He was the one that relinquished all the debt for Morehouse students. Yeah, he put what was it?
9.2, boy.
Yeah, he 9.2 Billy. He up there. Yeah.
Okay, Black man, I love to see it.
Yeah, he up there. No, but I met him.
All his connected names are like white people. Because it's like other people search for.
But I met him actually. The first time I ever met him was we did the Steve Harvey. He did the thing for the young men in Dallas at his ranch in Texas.
His ranch, I love
Bro,
it.
yeah. So we did that. It was like they had a bunch of sponsors and stuff out there, and it was like kind of a day for young Black men, young guys to learn. And I did the panel with him, and I didn't know who he was at the time. So I'm talking about like being on TV and this and that. And then he started talking about his shit. I'm like, who is this?
So you're talking about equity funds.
Yeah. He's like, when I made my first $400 million, $400 million? I'm like, yo.
Nigga, I'm trying to get a $15,000 bump on this next.
Let's do a movie about
you. I think
you
he
fund
can fund
it.
it.
Yeah, you fund it. I'll get the cast. We good. Like, you feel me? But no, it's like, when you see those type of guys, it's like, it's always amazing. But like you said, it always seems like our Black billionaires, when they hit that, when they hit that there, all of a sudden everyone's crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone's,
Well, it's because also they're entertainers, and a lot of them are entertainers, and their voices are so we're not as worried about a famous Black man with $1 billion because he probably made his $1 billion within a system that we control. See what I'm getting at?
Facts.
Whereas, now when a famous Black man starts getting to like where he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That voice is like, I had to Google. You see my point? When you have somebody that you don't have to vote, a Kanye type, I don't have to Google. And also, I listen to more hours of this man speak, called songs, than I probably have listened to my parents talk damn near. Not me, but like some people.
Yeah.
So if you hear this man that much and he's constantly, oh no, he has you in a hold and he can change and push a movement that, whoa.
It's true.
No.
No, it's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true because that voice
is different.
Is very, very powerful. It's very, very powerful.
Don't let Beyonce just wake up one day and be like, you know what? This shit is crazy. Hey, I honestly think there needs to be a ceasefire. Don't let No, because that's like, no, we can't do anything about this, but we'll make sure she can't do this again.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the powers that be, people believe that they aren't doing certain things to certain people just because. And they're like, like I said, going back to, well, why would these people just say that? It's like, how many people do we know on earth that just say some shit?
Already, and then don't let them be getting 200 grand.
I'm about to say, and don't have a bag associated with it at all. They're just saying shit.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you throw some money in? I mean, and the craziest part about history, which I used to always hate history when I was younger, but when I grew up, I learned something from a person who told me history is the most important thing that you could ever learn because you'll never be surprised.
Yes.
As long as you know that it's happened before. And what human beings have all proven, if it happens before, it'll happen again. And there's no way, because just like when people say, oh, slavery, that was 400 years ago. There are people enslaved right now
in the Congo
being sold
for cobalt and fucking trafficking.
Being sold in Libya. Like, bro, Libya has real life slave ships docking, real Europeans pulling up, purchasing right now. Like, that's a fact. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is, as long as they're showing us TV shows about girls fighting and who broke up with who and who, no one cares, right? And I think it's even proven with like some of the stuff that's going on in the media where like sometimes they'll show like, okay, pray for this country, but how long will people be putting those posts up?
Oh, not long.
It'll be about a month,
bro.
2 months.
It was Ukraine. Then,
and we know what happens. Let me tell you what happens. They control your mind by thinking the post stopped, so the war stopped. So what you do is you go, well, I guess that's all over. They're not posting it. No one's posting about it.
Right.
But what's happening is it's still going on. It's still happening. Gaza's still being bombed.
Most people didn't even know that we were in Afghanistan 20 years.
Yeah.
It
because they only covered it for about, 10?
Yeah. And barely the last 8.
The last 8. It was like, we over here in Syria now. And, I don't want to get canceled or nothing, but it's like, even with, I know it's a touchy subject with Gaza and all that, but, I always, I pray for all parties involved in that shit, but especially for the kids and shit of like Gaza, because it's like, a lot of people don't really look at a map and understand like the importance of where that is, right? And their neighbor is Egypt, right? So I'm gonna just put that out there, right? So people look at, oh, those people are just over there, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, when you start looking at places geologically and you go, well, I don't know how many blonde hair, blue eyed people are from this part of
this region.
The region.
Like, how did they? Yeah,
right. Like
that's not what it usually spits out.
No,
it's
like not in like any direction
in the area.
In the area,
yeah.
Right. Like if you go 1,000 miles south, 1,000 miles east, 1,000 miles west, everybody look like these people, but these people are saying, no, this is not your land.
No, it's not yours.
This is not yours. This is where this is our shit.
We got it from.
Back in the day, y'all remember? We pulling back up. But it's like, but that is the world that we live in where people think that those things happened a long time ago, right?
And it's not that.
Yeah, it's not that.
Ago.
Like, they're like, oh, America and how the people came and enslaved y'all and put y'all to work and all that. That was back in the day. It's like, no, that's happening now in other countries.
Right.
The same way this one started up, it's happening somewhere else. Yeah. And even for me, going to a place like Vietnam, I remember my granddad, I came back and I was like, yeah, granddad, I just got back from Vietnam. How the hell you go over there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's hot.
Right,
Like, you know,
right.
in his mind, he's like, bro, I lost friends, family
Right,
members. Like,
right.
well, you linking up with the ops.
Like, it's a dark space. For
yeah,
him, yeah.
but that is because of the fact of this system that we live in.
Yeah.
There's going to be a generation that's going to blow it up. Then there's going to be a generation that's going to visit and love it. Right? So I believe, you know, when my daughters are grown, they're going to be like, we're going to vacation in Afghanistan, Dad. We'll see you later.
Oh, yeah. Because you know what that region was before. It was like Sumer and all this, Pakistan and all. It was this beautiful, like,
Absolutely.
beautiful place.
Absolutely.
It was one of the most sought after regions in the world.
But when they say we're going to war, it's the dirtiest place. They have nothing.
Right.
They have nothing, but you're looking for everything.
Oh, because the natural resources.
Exactly. And that's why I tell people all the time, like, when you go back and look at all those movies where you see, even in Africa, right?
Yeah.
I tell people to go, when you watch these movies where you see these rebel soldiers and all this kind of stuff, it makes people from America think they don't want to go there because this is going to be happening all the time. But what I tell people to do is look at what's happening, right? Someone's funding this militia.
Yes.
It's almost 90% not
From
local.
at
It's not
all.
from
They don't
anyone
have it.
local. Yeah. So they're getting funded from somewhere else, given the guns, Kalashnikovs are not made in Africa, right?
Right.
Uzis are not made in Africa, right?
of this.
None of them, right? So they didn't just pop up here. Someone brought them here. Someone imported them, right? And black people, we don't own any shipping
Ships,
yards
nope.
and ships and carriers.
Even
and-
with drugs. How are we getting to work?
right?
Let's be
so,
real.
So here's the thing: when those people come through and they, you know, when they're back in the like Rwanda and all that, right? When they're killing, 800,000 people, we're talking about 800,000. That's like a real genocide, right?
Literally, yeah.
800,000. But the question that no one ever asks, right, is when you come here, you kill all these people in these villages and you burn all these villages down, but you keep moving, right? You never stop.
Right.
What happens to all the land behind you?
Oh, well, that's ours now.
Whose? Right?
The people who's
Because-
coming to save the day.
Because here's the thing: all the land that they leave behind that has no human beings on it, no nothing, is now, Rwanda. I think is the largest mining for tin and like it was tin and like copper and something else, like something another a
and
bunch
then
of
we
other.
leave our people over here to watch over it, and then we have the embassy.
This was
and-
gonna fuck you up for real. You can look this up too. There's a company, right?
Mhm.
This is crazy. Called Anglo American, right?
Anglo-American.
It's the largest platinum and diamond mine in South Africa, and it's called Anglo American.
Anglo-American is a global mining company with a portfolio that spans diamonds, platinum, copper, iron, and what the fuck?
What type of mine fuck is that?
Anglo-American.
Guess who owns it? Guess who owns it? The
Who?
British.
Of course they fucking do, bro. The British are coming. The British.
Yeah, right. But when you think about it,
You know what I love though? Check this out. This is just how you know they're pandering. Got 2 black workers though.
yeah,
on the other-
yeah, make it look like, but Anglo American, right? So it's like just that alone, like that symbol. What does that mean? You know, what I'm saying? Like, imagine this, bro. If Africa, all the resources in Africa, they don't need to import anything, right? But they import everything, right? And they export everything from there. So why is a country so rich in everything? Salt, coffee, any animal,
Right.
Like they have literally the largest land animal on the planet, the
Right.
fastest land animal on the planet, all the gold, all the rubies, all the diamonds, oil, salt, sand, sugar.
If they have it all, that was even why I brought it up in the first place when I was like, they're like one of the few countries that has no nukes. But my point is, we don't want you to ever, Africa, be able to defend yourself because we want to be able to pull up when we want. and
Well, the
take what we
reason
want.
why they needed to divide Africa in the way that they did was for that sole reason. Because
'cause
Africa,
that's one?
because here's the thing. I tell people this all the time too, and a lot of people will not believe it. But I strongly believe, and I know for a fact, Africa has the most people on earth. Hands down.
Yeah, it has to, right?
It has to. And let me tell you why. They will never want us to know. But I've seen with my own 2 eyes multiple different countries in Africa where I've seen so many people that I'm like, bro.
Think how many people off the grid. Too.
Listen,
like niggas
bro,
who aren't in real
absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, bro.
Yeah.
Listen. There's over 375 million people just in Nigeria. Just in Nigeria alone. That's more people than America that are just in Nigeria.
And then you got to think, if that's just Nigeria,
that's not
China's
Kenya.
only saying 3 billion. So yeah,
That's not Kenya. That's not Tanzania, Chad, Niger. That's not Egypt. That's none of those other, like Ghana.
Right.
Like,
So they're saying
like,
2016, 1.2 billion. But I see what you're saying. It don't.
Bro,
all
listen,
yeah.
Bro, listen. The amount of land mass that Africa has.
You know the shit about the of
map?
course you do, the
Of
map
course.
of how they make
Absolutely.
Africa smaller.
Yes, bro. All of it is a mind game to make us think that we are the minority.
Like that shit's weak.
Because here's the thing. If we knew, it's about 5 billion of them over there.
So there's more of us than there is of
A lot of things would shift.
A lot of things.
A lot of things would shift. And you got to think, it's got to be that many because 22 million were, 22 give or take, were brought to America. People think America were the only place that got slaves.
Oh no, a lot of
Brazil, Mexico, everywhere.
And
all
Britain
South America
facilitated all of that.
All of those sales.
Yeah.
So you think, okay, we brought 22 million to America, give or take, right?
Right.
Like, 'cause that's just the documented slave ships.
And you'll
We're not
never
even talking
know.
about the ones where they said you can't import slaves no more, and they were still doing it, pulling up
Niggas
to the,
with side hustles.
bro, real
Literally,
life,
yeah.
bro, back alley slave auctions, like, you feel me?
It's
so
ridiculous.
But when you think about it, it's like it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why they don't want people to look at Egypt as a place in Africa. That's why anytime you're watching a movie about Egypt,
It's niggas
always swole ass white men.
white people
Every time.
with the hair that makes no sense.
Yeah,
for the
they got the mascara and they're big and swole and they're like. But here's the thing: even when you watch it, all of their servants are always black.
right.
But they have it where it's like this, like, oh, Alexander the Great came here, yeah, and then he left.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? But it's like they'll try to say, oh, this
Well,
person.
they make it Roman. They always try to bring the Roman influence
Every time.
into the people who actually belong there. And it's like, no. I believe that the Romans came over here and did
The facts.
what they do.
They facts.
You know, but
It was the facts, though. They real life came and learned education, mathematics, all that. Bro, the pyramids. I watched something the other day where it was like this guy was trying to explain what the pyramids were, and when you hear people say, "Oh, it was a massive tomb" and all this, it's like instantly you know they're wrong.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about because there's never been a body found. There's no gold, no treasure, nothing ever found, and they believe that it was a real energy source. And that's what...
because it was plated in gold, apparently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was gold plated. So they believe that they were actually conducting electricity. They were the first to discover... Because here's the thing. Let me say this. Because no one ever discovered electricity. Right. Electricity is around us. Even Edison said, you can't discover something that's around you, right? All he figured out was how to harness electricity. Because electricity is...
how to conduct it.
Right? Because at the end of the day... you can see a lightning strike. Nobody needs to be there.
Right.
And the lightning is gonna strike, nigga. That's full-fledged electricity.
Electricity.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like at its highest form.
Damn, that's
right?
so true.
So
yeah.
what he did was he tried to figure out how he could create it, how the sky is created, how Earth creates it.
Right.
So, and back in those times, there was a different way that they probably used it. It's probably why we can't figure out in what capacity they used it in.
Or how they even built the place they harnessed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. My point exactly, right?
Yeah.
How can you say, so you can go anywhere around the world, right? Take all the engineers, all the people from Harvard, Yale, all of them can give you 10 different scenarios of how they think it could have been done, but no one can still recreate it. You can't even in America right now or anywhere in the world, you cannot recreate a pyramid just like the pyramids of Giza. You can't do it.
You gave, as you were saying this, it made me also think, because I've always been impressed with how the Roman Empire, how they say, oh, they came up with the aqueducts and but once you started going, I'm like, fucking right. If you're going around and you're kind of how America is, you're going around and you're just trying to claim everything and you're planting your seeds everywhere. You gonna learn shit from all these places you
Absolutely.
go, and you're gonna bring that back home.
Bring that shit back to the crib. But just think about it like this, right? Always remember this: the people that lived in very beautiful places never needed to leave, right?
Right.
So all the people in South Africa, the coast of Tanzania, all the people in all these countries in Africa, they were living their lives, right? They didn't need a reason to leave.
Because they had resources
They
abundant.
had
They had
everything that they needed. America, South America, Central America, all these places that people go on vacation. People want to go to Brazil. They want to go to Miami. They want to go. All these places, Native Americans lived in Florida, off the beach, going to get coconuts and
Malibu.
in
Fucking-
Malibu.
That was Aztecs and shit in
You
Native
see what I'm saying?
America. Right.
They why we need to build a boat? It's paradise here.
Y'all niggas coming from some weak shit.
You're
so-
coming from cold, rainy, damp,
Right.
very cloudy a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
even now.
Right
Yeah.
now. All right. But so here's the thing. Once you travel to these places, I'm not gonna understand why they ever did it, but I kind of get it. Right? Where it's like there's a big fundamental difference in London's weather than California's weather.
Right.
There's a fundamental difference in Dublin's summer as Florida's summer.
And there's no laws against this. So I'm going to go over
Yeah.
there and see what the fuck I can find.
So my laws on my land is you can leave here and claim anything you want when you go away.
Bet. Nigga.
I'm out of here. This shit is ass.
And then whatever we find over there, I'm pretty sure they don't even have guns.
Bro, exactly. But here's the thing, not even just guns, bro. Everywhere that they did land was all loving, giving people, right? The Native Americans, these people documented, they were teaching them, oh, this is how you grow corn.
Agriculture.
This is how we do this.
Right, because they didn't know
They
anything.
didn't know none of that shit. Like, because guess what? You can't grow grapes and corn over here. You ain't got no damn sunlight. Hey, you got cows, you got potatoes, you got bulb vegetables, shit
Right.
like that. But like, how many orange groves are in
Hell
Europe?
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got orange groves all down the coast of California, all down to Florida, anywhere like in America.
Right.
So once, I mean, imagine though, you're
Shit,
coming
even-
from,
Even cotton and shit.
yeah, I mean, but that's a whole nother, that shit.
I mean, I'm sure it's another, but I'm just saying it's still just wow. Like,
But it's true.
Because they go over there for the sugar cane. They went over, where did they start Chiquita?
But Ethiopia, I'm going to say this, Ethiopia is also has some of the finest cotton in the world. So cotton was also that very big there. Bro, some of the biggest coffee plantations that are owned in Africa are from like Folgers and like all
I
these
believe
people.
it. I heard Starbucks is in Costa Rica.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, you know what I mean? Because guess what? They're getting it for pennies on the dollar, which was something that these people had for their own. Imagine if you took one coffee plantation in Africa, just gave it back to the people.
Oh, they wouldn't.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that alone for their economy would be greater than anything someone giving them. Here's the thing, you're not even giving them anything. It was already theirs.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it's like, people are like, oh, well, they need to get up and go work. You stole all the shit that I could use to my
go
advantage to, like, these people, like, their families and their families before them were doing the gardening and shit for these coffee fields and these, sugarcane fields and, like...
You stole my asset, and then you want me to come work for you.
Yeah, you'll pay me to do the shit that this shit was naturally here. You know what I mean? Like, watermelon comes from Africa. Bananas, all this shit, all the shit we eat right now, it's coming from another country.
And then they're fucking shooting it up with whatever.
Yeah, because you gotta think, there's what, 3,600 or some shit, 7,000 fruits and vegetables or some shit like that.
Oh, wow.
You've never ate 1,000.
Of them. Right.
You only get the ones that they need you to eat or they want you to eat because it's easier for them to fucking
Source.
ship and source. That's it.
I'm looking here. Ukraine, corn, $6 billion a year, seed oils, wheat.
Yeah.
So,
But what is that compared to everything you can grow in California?
right.
Right? What is that compared to everything you can grow in Florida? What's that? I'm just saying those places, but let's also talk about Middle America, where they're growing
Hella
acres of wheat and corn. Like, I'm talking thousands and thousands of acres of it. You right? So even if you look at the UK on a map, it's very small.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you can fit the UK in like damn near like New York.
Fact.
Like,
yeah.
or some shit. Like,
It's
you can
not-
take that
yeah.
shit and it'll take up like New York down to like Virginia. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro. And you got to think all these people back in those days were living very close quarters.
All right.
Everything was built up, stacked.
And we can't grow. We can't
grow
grow
shit.
this, so we got to go outward.
You got to go somewhere else and find what's out there. And when they did, imagine going from, like, I love London. No, nobody think I'm hating on y'all. I love London. But imagine, like, you know, go to Miami. All you see is European that come during the summertime. Right. Oh yeah, we come to Miami. Why? Because their summer is still cloudy and rainy. Right. It's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine the first one who got on the boat and went out and
he was like, "This shit is lit."
He landed like, "Yo, I'm never going back.
Never.
Like, this shit dead." Like,
and like then he waited to write that letter for a little bit. He's like, "I can't let niggas know about this."
Yeah, I'm not telling nobody what I found. Like, nope. But then you stay here, you do all this, and then, like, you know, Manhattan, literally the name is from the Native Americans, like Manhattan. Like, they called it that after they just murdered all of them and moved them out of the way. You know what I mean? So it's like little shit like that, to where it's like you understand how the shit is made up and how it's built. Yeah. But once you get that this is the world we live in.
And there's a black town, you know that, under Central Park.
Oh, yeah. I heard that. Which is, bro. But, you know, those things that you learn, and when you learn them, you understand that there's still room for people to grow. There's still room for people to change. But I honestly believe it's going to be probably in the next 50 to 100 years where I believe racism itself, the word racism, will probably be gone. And it'll only be because of the fact that you got to understand, since all of us been alive, we've had the same people in Congress and all this shit since our parents were fucking children.
Literally,
you know
literally though.
So
right.
You gotta understand, once the cycle is broken with these, because like my grandparents are still alive, right? My grandfather on my dad's side, my grandfather's like 87, 88, and my grandma's 85, 86. Right. So you do the math, right? My grandmother and my grandfather grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. In the 40s and 50s and the 60s.
And they were old enough to know.
Yeah, right? So you think, like, okay, the 50s, all that, they're dealing with segregation. My grandma would tell us stories about how they would have to stand in the, you know, the back of the bus. And she was, because we were like, I thought y'all used to sit. She told us some stories I didn't even know. She's like, in Montgomery, they would have some buses where you could sit in the back, but most of them are standing room only. So some of the people would tell the bus driver, like, make sure you turn the corner hard. So, like, they'll be in the back, falling around with their books and shit, and the people in the front will be laughing at them, type shit, right? So, when I think about her experiences, or like the Klan, and you know, being all those things, and this woman's still alive, right? And someone her age, or my grandfather's age, is still in power,
is president
in politics, right? Multiple different states. You got 80-year-old senators and you know what I'm saying?
McConnell and shit,
right?
Yeah.
So you do the math and you go, well, these people are proving that they're not giving up their seat until they go, right? Until they're dead,
and they're not giving up their thought process until they
exactly, and they're gonna make sure that their thought process is passed on to whoever they give the seat to, right? 100%. So what's going to happen is all of the interracial stuff that we have going on now, how the world is way more like black people have best white friends and white people. It's way better than, you know what I'm saying? Like,
even when we just was coming up.
Exactly, right? It's a lot better. So I think in the next 50 to 100 years, when everyone is...
And we're mixing
and max. And then all it's going to take is that one person or the couple of people to get into politics that have a white mom and a black dad, or that is married to a white woman and he's black, or that
Right.
those are gonna be the people that are gonna make the change to be like, yo, stop all this shit. Stop all like, bro, even going on a job, filling out a job application.
Oh, with the check one.
But the fucked up part is, right? It's fucked up. They have one that says like, choose not to answer. And it's like, they instantly know you black.
I never thought about that. 'Cause why would you choose not to answer otherwise?
Because if you're white, you're checking that shit quick as hell.
Right.
White.
That's hilarious.
But do not wish to not answer
is
is crazy. Like, that's crazy. You might as well not ask me.
Right.
Because what the fuck are you asking me for anyway? Are you black or white?
Well, we want to know because so then we can pat ourselves on the back or hire more based on what quota we need to make. That's
exactly. You'll be number 3, sir. So you got the job. That's it.
You're lucky.
You got 3 black. You got 3 black checks. That was it. That's all we got.
Crazy.
But you know, like little shit like that, bro. It's like I always thought that shit was funny because I'm like, if I check this.
Where does this go next?
Does this go? I choose not to answer.
Okay, black nigga.
Yeah, you're black.
You're black.
So,
you're not proud enough.
So black.
That's fine.
Because you know, if you're white, you for sure checking that out.
Yeah,
like sliding it across the table.
They're thinking the same thing, but they're like, well, it can only work to my advantage, right?
Yeah, like it's not gonna hurt if I put white.
That's the weird discourse now I see on like Twitter where it's like so many white people are like, man, I'm being disenfranchised. Because it's like, you know, it's that whole theory where it's like it's okay to hate white males like freely, but it's like, but I don't think it's frustrating because a lot of them don't understand the other side of like why being empowered, like as a black person, how being empowered is like a real, you see it because you're like, oh, my parents couldn't always do X, Y, and Z. My grandparents could. Oh, and I get to do this. So this is cool. Mm-hmm. But not having that, and they want to play the same card. It's like, well, it's, because I'm a white man, I can't be blah, blah. It's like, come on.
Yeah, well, let me say this now.
You had the controller for a very long time, my friend.
But
that's all I'm saying.
Play.
Let me play for a second.
But I will say this, right? To anyone out there, and I'm gonna say this is some real shit that everyone needs to listen to. For anyone out there that you kind of look at white people or black or like oppressors and all this, right? I always tell people like, there's good and bad in everybody, 100%. Right? Which is, we got some good and bad black people.
100%.
Yeah. Not everybody perfect, right? So, but my thing is, I always tell people they have to look at one of the most important wars in all of American history, and that's the Civil War. Yeah. And a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, the white man this, white man, all white men this. And I'm like, the Civil War was the one thing that they don't like people to talk about, but it was the turning point in American history before segregation and all that shit, because what happened was everyone thinks Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves because he liked black people. Yes. What happened really was white men were killing other white men on the battlefield for black men. That is where he said, what the fuck is going on right now?
This makes no sense.
Exactly. So that...
Let's let them fight.
That was the most powerful thing that the world had ever seen. Because there was a difference in the white people in the North could have just lived their fucking life and said, fuck them.
That's very true.
They're not our slaves, but we're free up here. So if you can make it up here, you good. But they said, no, that shit's not right. Right. And they were like, you got to free them. These people can have jobs and do all this shit and work. So when people say like all white people are racist or all black people, you have to look at that war. Mm-hmm. And that was in a time where you did not have to show that you were standing up for black people.
At all.
We're talking about the 1800s.
You were more applauded if you didn't.
Yeah, yes. You were hated.
Yes.
We're like, the South, it was a lot of them, but the North had what I believe was just they were just on a different frequency on what the fuck they had going on. They were like, yo, they're tripping down south and they're not giving up. So y'all want to slide on these shit?
And I also think like in the North, there was people who also like, let's be real. They saw the economics of it all and they said, this doesn't make sense. Like my hatred doesn't trump my reasoning for progress.
And also, they were meeting with some of the most educated black men,
people, yeah.
and they were like, "This motherfucker, he's smart. This
Nigga,
guy's
Frederick Douglass
brilliant.
on or something.
Yeah, he's brilliant."
Yeah, right.
So what happened was when they started realizing, like, yo, they're humans just like us, which is obvious, right? But the fact is that war is what changed the course of everything, because now you got people from the North fighting, willing to lay down their life for black people to free us. And a lot of people don't like to talk about it because it's kind of like, oh, well, black people fought in the war too. But I'm from Georgia. We learned the history. The slave masters back down then had slaves fighting in the war against the North.
Makes sense.
Literally in the battlefield trying to kill the people, trying to free them.
I believe it.
Right? So, but there was also black men that did fight for the North as well against the South, right? And they won.
And on top of that, those black men didn't have no choice in the South. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they had no choice. Yeah,
So it's like, okay,
they didn't know.
You're going to either hang me or you're going to...
Yeah.
Also, I can't read the newspapers to know what the fuck's going on.
No,
So
100%.
right, yeah.
So yeah, that to me, I always feel like was the thing that I did learn, to where, you know, you have to look at what we said about history.
Right.
You have to look at certain things like that to go, okay, well, if you could say all white people are racist, you talk about the Civil War, you can't really, like, a white man willing to lay down his life to free a person that is having a shitty time, and he's living a
someone
great
he
life.
don't know.
He don't know,
Right.
and he's living a good life. That spoke volumes
And
to
there's
the
still
world.
those bloodlines in this world.
Yeah, and there's still some of those descendants that are here that are like, no, I'm right here with you. You know what I'm saying? And that is where, you know, like I said, I don't think it's about color. It's just about good and bad, bro. It's not like, you know, I have friends of mine of all shades and colors that I would do anything for, and they would do anything for me.
Right.
You know, so it's like, I always hated when I heard that, because I hear it a lot, because I'm from the South, right? So, you know, I'm Mr. try to educate people as much as I can. Because
I didn't know you knew so much about that. I love this because I'm enthralled with this kind of shit. I love learning this kind of shit because it, like you said, it shows you what's next.
It shows you
it's
what's
a blueprint.
Next. So, and here's the thing, right? When you know it, you're not one of those people going, I can't believe this happened. Well, did you not see that it's happened here, 10 times over here? It's gonna happen.
You've just done no research.
You just are blind to it because you're watching people fighting. Like, that's the thing. Niggas
I'm too busy.
Bro, imagine this, right? My grandma said when they were kids, they would go to school. All the men wore suits. All the women wore dresses to school, right? Not private school, none of that shit. Just regular school. Regular ass public school. They're wearing suits. All the men had ties on. All this, they're going to school. She said you would do your schoolwork, come home, and guess what? Every last one of them would go off. They go to college. They do this because that was during the civil rights era, where everyone was just super black power. Mm-hmm. And if you noticed, right when everything was going good and everything was on the up and up, everyone you killed Martin Luther King. Like, this is probably the most peaceful human being.
The CIA and the FBI.
A man who's literally saying, like, nonviolent. Like, you shoot him with a rifle, right? So it's like, when you look at that, it's like, this man didn't say, we're going to kill Whitey. He didn't say, by any means necessary. He said, we should all stand together. And he got murked.
And then even Malcolm got murked by his own people.
But
I'm just saying,
we know.
But it's just crazy. It just shows you how it's, and like you said, influence comes in many different forms,
Absolutely.
my friend.
I mean, like the Black Messiah.
Yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah. And that's my point. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, you've been through the mud with this dude, and there's always, and that's another thing. When people say, like, there's always a price. Mm-hmm. Right? I
was thinking, I always say this too, even when I look at, like, the music culture, I say, man, it's crazy. If you could go to a brother in the 1950s, 1940s, and tell him, like, all this shit you doing, what's going on, all that, Marvin, that's cool. But check this out. The shit that's going to be hot in 2023, it's going to be niggas rapping about, like, killing each other.
Yeah.
And, like, they're going to, like, stacking money, but they all going to be signed to these labels that's owned by...
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna say we're not talking about. They probably be like, "Wait, you talking about killing the white man?" No,
each other.
Each other.
Yeah.
Because that nigga's on my block,
I might shoot his grandma. Like you know,
and that's gonna get more views.
Yeah. No, but you know what? You're so right? So, especially with music, I believe that is probably the worst
By far.
thing to ever affect our community.
They have that shit on a chokehold as far as business goes,
for
and
sure.
they feed us nonsense.
And you know what's crazy, right? I always say this. You'll see all these female rappers and all this shit, right? They'll be talking about crazy shit, right? Shit that I would never want my daughter to listen to, right? Ever. Like my daughter know when she get in the car with me, it's Whitney Houston, it's Mariah Carey,
Yes.
it's
upstanding women.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you hear the females, but you gonna hear the ones that's singing. You feel me? Or you gonna hear Toni Braxton. My thing, right? So. Because it's funny though, but when I was a kid, that's what I grew up listening to. Because when we would be on road trips, my mom would have the Toni Braxton tape, put that shit in, then she put the Whitney Houston, then she put the Boyz II Men tape in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, this shit kind of slapped.
And it's all good.
And you in the backseat like, we don't even talk anymore.
Hey, I like this one.
But the craziest shit is, right, we got lucky that we grew up, we were the last generation. Yes. Our generation was the last generation to listen to quality music.
100%.
100%. And really, by the time we were old enough to make our own decisions of music is when it got shitty.
Literally. Bro, all the way
when it got
early,
shitty.
even our early 2000s when it was like, you can always see, it's like things that start but still, our early 2000s quality of music was still light years better than what's coming. Like,
for sure.
I feel like 2012, 2011
is when it
started getting a little out of hand. You know what it was?
I know who you're going to say.
After all the Wayne mixtapes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say.
Somewhere around Carter 3.
Because Chief Keef for sure changed the game.
Well, you know what? He changed,
Because I was like, I remember everybody being kind of like, oh, okay. But after Chief Keef, I think the drill shit took a...
Well, you know what else did it too, right? It was the fact that it was drill, and this nigga just uploaded a video on YouTube and got very famous for doing some shit that was very negative.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just YouTube. It wasn't like he was a plant. It wasn't like he had a Cole Bennett video. No, nigga, like this is a bunch of niggas in a room with their shirts off, with holding guns. And the people were like, I like that shit.
But you know what's funny though? I'm not gonna lie.
That song was
It's
hard.
crazy because I remember the first time my cousin played me that video. And I was like, this shit hard.
Startling. But it was just...
But because it was a lot to take in. But, and it's funny if you think about it, it's like, there was no videos like that before that. No. Because even Wayne and all the people that we grew up watching,
still like big budget videos.
Yeah,
it was
a production. Yeah, that was like
that was a nigga with an iPhone and said, "Let's go."
Pull the camera out, pull the guns out. We filming.
Different, and I think that's what happened. Is once people saw, oh, I can flash a gun, I can flash money, I can flash, and these are the barrier to entries. Also, I don't need a label to invest or believe in me to give me $100,000 to go make this project. No, nigga, I got a laptop. My nigga know how to run Pro Tools. We're going. Let's go. And so when a label also sees they can acquire this for basically nothing, because you don't know how this works, and then they can push it to a community that will buy it up, and that they've lowered the standard of quality that we expect.
And here's the thing. They only lowered the standard of quality in our music.
Only.
Right? So here's the thing. The fucked up part about it is you'll see, all these young female rappers, they'll have a picture with Taylor Swift. They'll have are we in the suite with Taylor Swift? Oh,
at the Super Bowl.
But guess what? None of y'all got a song with Taylor Swift.
No.
Because her team's going to be like,
it's the wrong market.
We'll just, maybe. We'll get around to that when we get around to it.
Nice.
Right? But the reason why is because they're like, we're not going to fuck up this brand. What you talking about doing? Because here's the thing. We know what you're going to do, but we don't know what she's going to say.
we also don't know. We don't know what she's gonna do in 2 years.
Exactly, or where she's
Or
gonna
where she's been.
Yeah, or where she's gonna be, or what's gonna pop up that happened. You know what I'm saying, or some shit. So it's like I understand that, but it goes back to, like you said, the quality of music. I mean, me and my boy, I was talking about this shit because I you know I do stand up and shit too, right?
Really?
Yeah.
That's the man. Respect. I want to try that shit so bad.
Yeah, it's fun, bro. I love it. But I mentioned this before in one of my stand ups in Atlanta. But it's funny if you think about it. Back in the day, right? Like let's say you're in the 60s, right? 60s. Okay. You break up with your girl, right? You like, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Right.
You get in the car, you drive, you're gonna hear always and forever.
Right.
Always be true. You be like, you might turn around, nigga, before you get to the street, right? You might, baby, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? You might hear, ain't too proud to beg. Yeah. Bro, you feel me?
Right.
And you driving off and now you thinking of, you know what I'm saying? Or you might, Aretha Franklin might come on, play Respect, and you like, my baby just wants some respect. And you drive, you might hit a U-turn and go back, and it kept, I believe the music kept family and friends together.
100%.
Right? And I think now, if you listen to, and people always say this, they go, it's just music. No.
It's programmed.
It's not, but it's, when people say it's just music, music is something that's very, very, very serious, and people need to start taking it more serious.
I agree.
Because just the way you might think, like, we all guilty of it, right? We're young, we listen to what's going on,
especially when you're out in this. I'm not mad at the environment for it.
Exactly.
That's
The environment for it, right? But what happens is you understand now, like when I look back and like look at it as a whole, and I'm like, this is why women and men are not getting along.
Right.
You're listening to songs that say, fuck that bitch, this hoe ain't shit, I'm gonna go fuck her, and then when she leave me, I'm gonna go fuck her sister, or like, what?
Zero love songs. It's
no
all
love songs. And even the love songs are like, bruh, like you could have left that out.
They're sex songs.
Yeah.
They're not love.
Exactly.
They're lust songs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is we don't understand that we're being like almost programmed in the fact to accepting anything. Right. So it's like, if a girl, the City Girls or something, like you're listening to that, it's like, okay, yeah, you can look at it as, oh, this is just a song.
Or, girl, get your money.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Imagine this. It's not just a song, because there are certain songs that can trigger something in people, right?
Yeah.
That's like you riding down the street, you might hear a gospel song that, like, I don't care who you are, when you hear, never would have made it without you, nigga, that does something to you,
you be like,
right?
Yeah.
You might think about your loved one, you might think about your homie, your grandma,
a positive influence on your life,
right? You might think, or traumatic, right?
Yeah, right.
But the thing is, I believe that those songs really help people through. And I think that's why it was a different with a James Brown or a Marvin Gaye or these people or Michael Jackson.
Stevie.
You know what I'm saying? Stevie. Like when you're putting out songs that's changing people's lives. So when they hear Man in the Mirror, you know what I'm saying? They're like, I gotta get my shit together.
You're literally trying to radiate light.
Yeah.
That's literally what you're trying to do, opposed to just.
But they were doing that though back then. They were giving you something to have and to hold and to, like, bro, I mean.
The songs aren't old. They're still good. Like, that's what I'm saying. Even to this day, with all the music we have, bro, we still all love them Temptation songs. We still all, and even when kids hear them, they don't stray. They might want to hear their new shit, but they don't stray away from them. They don't be like, this is trash. It's just like, I don't want to hear this right now, maybe.
Yep.
But that's it.
And you know what's so crazy? I saw an interview with Prince where he said, in the future, the future of music, he said, I believe, since sampling is becoming so terrible, he said, I believe in the future, people will be sampling samples.
And
that's exactly, he predicted that shit in the 90s or like early 2000s.
He saw the laziness.
Yeah, he was like, they're about to be sampling a sample in a beat.
And I'd be frustrated because half the time I'm so like aggy about that. I'll be telling people, I love giving people, you know what that is, right? You know what sample that is. Like, and so many times I say that and people are just like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, no, I thought this was the thing. And I'm like, no, that's the bass line from fucking. And
Yep. And they don't know because at the end of the day, they don't have that education of music. So when
And
you're,
they don't care to.
they don't care. That's why you have these young guys being like, "Oh, Pac wasn't that good," or this. It's like, all right, I get it. You probably weren't listening to that every day, but at the same time, you can go listen to about 3-4 songs, bro. That's can change your life, bro. When you hear "Keep Your Head Up,"
bro,
or like, you know what I'm saying, "Dear Mama," like, bro, that I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who you are, black, white.
Yes.
I don't
That
give a-
radiates.
That radiates,
Yes.
bro. Like, "Keep Your Head Up" is like for women. That was a song for women. Like,
And it wasn't cheesy. What was she
Facts.
spitting? Facts.
Yep.
Bro,
Those are the things that I feel we have to
we got to strive to get back to that.
because imagine getting back to what I was saying about you would drive away listening to all these love songs, right? Nowadays, you don't really have those. There are no love songs.
No, you're turning on "Fuck That Bitch" while you're driving and trying to figure out who on Instagram you want to DM who's showing the most cakes because you don't have much time.
Yeah, and that's another thing
Which
too.
is sad.
The cakes, man.
They've gotten out of hand.
But you know what I said too? I said, bro, it's fucked up. But you know, I'll be looking at like all the old marriages and shit that I know, like 60 years, 70 years. Like my grandparents been married 66 years or 68
That's
years, some
beautiful,
shit like that,
man.
right? Yeah. So they've been married a long time. But I always look at that and I'm like, could this have, like, you know what I mean? Could that
this
have happened
happen?
in 2024? And it's like, because here's the thing, like, I believe their love is, you know, obviously strong, whatever. But I'm like,
They
you
didn't have
add,
reach.
but you don't add, you add like swiping on Instagram and like go, whoa.
A couple of apps.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Like reach. When like, if you was in Mississippi,
yeah,
motherfucker, you knew. You don't know everybody in Mississippi. You know
Yeah.
the people in your,
Your
neighborhood,
town,
your
your
town,
neighborhood,
the
yep.
places you go to, and maybe every once in a while, if you go out of town, okay, maybe I see some women want to know.
Yeah.
No, now it's like this bitch is from Australia. She's on your phone.
She's DMing my nigga all the way from London.
She said she'll be in Miami.
Yeah, exactly. You like, yo, right?
This
It's
is
like,
ridiculous.
but it's crazy, like the reach, like you said. But it's also, I think, just having, you know, it's like damn near like DoorDash at this point. It's like you're looking at, you know, like that's why I hate those food apps, because like I'll go on that shit and I'm like, bro, I'll be swiping for 30 minutes, bro, just looking for food.
It's like Netflix.
Yeah.
It's like you can't
What do I
find
wanna
nothing
watch?
good.
What do I wanna-
What I want to eat?
Never, shit. Had it.
Had
This
that
shit-
yesterday.
Yeah, this shit trash. This shit gonna be cold. Like,
It's 5 minutes too far.
bro, yeah. No, you definitely gotta look at that mile. I don't order shit over a mile and a half. Which is really lazy because I can really go get that shit because it's less than a
but
mile
I ain't
and a half.
trying to park. I ain't trying to see these niggas when I get there.
Nah, none of that.
that.
None of that shit.
But
Yeah.
listen, man, we running it.
Yeah.
Listen, bro.
Yeah, bro.
This has been a very fun interview. I'm like, this shit is fucking great.
It's
bro.
been good, bro. And like now, I'm gonna just say this: I'm working on my fucking. I got 2 scripts that I'm writing right
That's what I
now.
was about to say. What's like you're passionate about right now?
I'm super passionate about this shit, bro, because I got it. Like, I got it real dialed in. Like the second one I'm working on right now, I'm just finishing it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm right at the end, but I'm loving that shit. Because for me, I went home to Atlanta for a little bit, just to kind of like change the scenery, be around family and shit. You know, people in my family are getting older, or my grandparents and stuff like that. So I kind of like, just kind of be around a little bit more. So I went back, and while I was there, I was just like, damn, man, I wanted to be here. Obviously, because I grew up here and shit, so it's like this is really home too. You
yeah,
feel
I
me? So
know,
it's like
yeah.
even when I talk to the homies, they be like, "When you coming back to the house? When you coming home, bro?" I'm like, man, technically I am home, but I'm gonna be back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn. But what I realized, man, is I sat with myself one day and I was like, fuck, what can I do, like in my realm that I know I got connections and stuff that I can do it, right? But what can I do right now to still be in the film and television right now, but not have to worry about fucking auditioning and doing all this extra shit right now.
The bullshit.
Right? And I was like, fuck, I can write a script. 100%. And I sat down, I brought my cousin through, my cousin Jonathan, brought him through, and I wrote pretty much like I wrote a very long script at first, right? So I didn't know, it was my first time writing this shit. So I wrote it pretty long, and then when I started presenting it to people, they're like, nigga, this shit long.
You were reading for notes, nigga.
Yeah,
This is
I'm
long.
like, all right, my bad, bro. So I was instructed to basically take off like 40, 50 pages. Like I had like, I was like 40, 50 pages over.
Nigga was making a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, right. So, but the really cool thing was, I assembled a cast from friends and shit like that, and right now we're just about to hopefully pull the trigger on getting the funding to get it filmed. But it was a really cool experience because, like I said, I really sat with myself and was like, all right, just fuck it, let's just do it.
Right.
And I started, and I remember the first day I got to 20 pages. First day, like 23 pages, some shit like that. And I was like, okay.
Right.
I was like, I kind of sat back. I'm like scrolling up and down. I'm like, okay, that's like 23 pages.
Meat on the bones.
Yeah. And then like within a week, the craziest part is within a week, I was already at 100 pages. Right.
Oh, you was.
But
right.
my dumbass didn't know that 110, 100 is kind of long, but it's like 105, 110 is like kind of like feature. I went from there like, I'm halfway there. So I went to like 160 pages, some shit like that. So I wrote a lot.
But that's beautiful because now you have all this shit that now that you have to cut, you can cut certain things. And I'm sure some of those things, right. Because if you would have just written 100 and been like, oh, I'm done, then there would have been certain things you would have had to go back at. But you wrote it twice, kind of.
I did. And it's crazy because I'm glad you said that because what I did, my cousin was like, shit, you could just put some of those clips in the second movie. I'm like, facts. Yeah, like facts. Like it's already written. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And then you can see how they could tie it together.
Yeah. So it's a horror film.
Okay.
So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make it where, because I'm a big horror guy. I like horror films a lot, but I'm kind of disappointed in a lot of the new ones.
Yeah. I know.
So I kind of wanted to make something where I know I can. Like, if I was watching it, I'd be like, yo, this shit crazy.
And that's what we need, bro. We're so used to this system and these people and this, they want this and that. No, and then we know what's going on, nigga. This is why it takes 40 minutes to turn on something. They're making a lot of bullshit. So I feel like if the creatives, especially ones who have been in the industry as long as you have or I have, if we can make our own content that makes us go, no, if I saw this, I'd be like, nigga, or where's that movie I want to click on that doesn't exist?
Yep.
That's what we gotta do.
And we have to, bro. And like that's why even like what you're doing right now, like, bro, the power is in us.
Yes.
Right? Because at the end of the day, we have learned so many things along the way that so many people don't have. Right? And like it was like back to what you were talking about the attention and the recognition, right? You are in your lane. You do your thing. Right. Like we stay in our lane, we do our thing, right? And I think that comes with the fact that we've already experienced the attention. We've already experienced the having everyone looking at you and whatever. So I think a lot of times with the young guys is they're trying to get that recognition.
They never had it.
Exactly. Yeah, so for us, it's like, I think we're able to like see clearly into like, okay, I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna do this. But I'm sure you get all the time, bro, you was on The Wire, bro. You need to be popping your shit, bro. You need to goddamn, bro, if I was you, and it's like, bro, but you don't understand, like, yeah, that's cool, but for me, I don't want all that attention. I don't care about it. Because at the end of the day, I've been there, I've experienced it, and some people have where, they strive off of that. Because it's really dopamine, right? We're talking. It's a dopamine.
Just like when you get pictures like on Instagram, it's a small drop of dopamine.
So imagine some of the people, like, I couldn't imagine some of the people that I know or that I'm around, if they were going through, what do you call it? Like going through the mall and like everybody screaming their name and all this or some shit like that.
What kind of person would they be?
Right? And here's the thing. I've experienced shit like this and I'm okay with now walking in the mall and no one gives a fuck.
Right.
Right?
Because I'm okay with me.
Me, right? But here's the thing. There are some people
that
cannot accept the fact that people don't and it's not don't fuck with you anymore, but it's that time has ended.
Right.
I'm like, bro, I'm 34, I think. Yeah, 34 with kids.
Right.
You feel me? Like the last thing on my mind is you don't know, like somebody, like I've never in my life been like, you don't know who I am.
Why?
Bro, I've had people say that, bro, and I'm like,
if you have to say that,
yeah.
no, they
I'm like,
don't.
yeah, like, yo, bro, I've real life had a rap. He was a rapper. I still don't know his name, but he was like, you don't know who I am? I was like, nah, bro, have we met? Like, nah, bro, I'm Lil such and such. I don't know. I'm like, oh, okay, bro. Like, what? Bro, like that's the craziest thing in the world to me. Like, you don't know who I am.
You know what it is though? Those are people who either, like you said, they're in it for the wrong reason. They're not okay with them necessarily, and I think it's also people who don't look at this shit as like, we've done it so long. You understand? This shit's a business, and like any business, it will be hot, it will be cold, it will be hot, it will be. McDonald's isn't crushing it like they used to.
Yeah, no, facts.
But it's okay. They're going to try to come up with some different drinks. Yeah. Maybe they'll try, they'll have the green Irish shake for St. Patrick's Day. Like, that's what they're going to do. And we're going to try to navigate this storm. AMC's not crushing it like they were in the fucking 90s. Yeah. But you know what? We'll regroup. We'll figure out how we go. Yep. That's all your fucking career is. Yeah. If you're going to be the thing, you're the business, okay, it's not going to be hot forever.
It's never going to be hot forever. And until people understand that in every realm, like you said, music, television, I don't care.
Sports teams.
Yeah, exactly. Right? like who's betting on the New England Patriots right now?
Facts.
Right? Like, that was a dynasty.
For years.
For my whole life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why niggas say, I don't know about the Patriots, but I still bet on Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
What does he need?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like when people, they get this fame or this whatever it is, and then they want it to last forever. Yeah, no. And it's like, bro, it's okay to be a regular person. Like I step back completely just to, because I'm comfortable in my own skin, right? So like I work with my dad. My dad has a heat and air conditioning company in Atlanta. I work with him, and like I really work with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, I'm going from doing a movie, or I just did BMF, like I'll go do that, and then I'm leaving set, putting on work boots and clothes. I'm in like in an attic, like, you know what I'm saying, like running ductwork.
Nigga,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Been, even when I was a little kid, that was my whole life. But that keeps you grounded.
Exactly.
Shit.
And here's the thing, right? It also lets you know that like it was a really cool experience for me. I will say this because I never knew, like I knew what my dad did. Right, as a kid, like I know, like, okay, he fixes air conditioning, but like as a kid, like that was just it. Like I was like, that's all I knew, right? Because I was never really, I never went with him as a kid.
Oh, see, I went as a kid.
See, yeah, so
he made me.
Yeah, see, that would have been probably cool for me, but I didn't get the experience as a kid, but I got it as an adult,
even better.
And it actually, it was better for me because I got a chance to like really like soak it all in. I'm like,
proper understanding.
I'm like, so this is what you were doing when and one time my dad said something, because I bought my son a dirt bike for Christmas. And my dad was like, I was like, man, I called him, I said, man, I don't see how y'all did this every Christmas, and y'all was buying us all type of, like, bro, we would get Xbox, PlayStation. I'm talking about going crazy. Yes, bro. Like, so I was like, man, he was like, yeah, now you see how I feel. He's like, I was in there fucking working every day, so make sure your ass can get that damn dirt bike you want it. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I'm busting my ass, and then you want to talk shit.
Literally, and that's what we do.
And we don't think about it because all we see our parents do is come home and say, hey, go do this. Or did you do your homework? Or go, or they, you know, they're parenting us,
right?
But we never get a chance to see the grind. I think, like, I mean, we'll probably see like, oh, my mom came home from work, or my dad came home and he was kind of tired. But when you actually see the physical demanding job my dad has, I was like, bro, you've been doing this for 30 years, and
you're over here. Oh, they're getting on their backs, getting on their knees, trying to.
Bro, you're listen, like, oh, my dad is older than me, and he's way more cut and ripped.
Same mine.
Bro, like my dad looks like he played like football.
Cause
like,
he do work.
I'm talking about like,
work.
Bro, his forehand, his forearms, all this shit, like, from pliers all day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm over there, bro. What I'll never forget, bro. It's crazy. And it's like this, the old men, you know, the older guys that was really working
different.
men. It's like, and
Yeah.
I love it because it made me appreciate it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But like, man, he'll be in there, he'll do something, his hand will slip. Big ass cut. He like, oh shit, it cut my damn hand. He'll put some. He's still
Right back
working.
to it.
I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I'm out of here. If I slice my shit like you just did, I'm going. My dad, he wrapped that shit up and keep working. I'm like, yo,
You used to the culture on set.
yeah, the day's over, bro.
Everything stops.
Split
We
your
need
shit to the
medic.
bone, like yo,
Wow.
exactly. I'm like in the bone, bro, like straight down, big ass open cut. He wrapped that shit up. He's like, we gotta finish this. I'm like, bro, you bleeding all over.
It's all good.
He don't give a fuck. He's like, I'm gonna get my bag and then we're gonna go. Like,
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
and that's how I got that damn dirt bike for you.
Yeah, bro.
Because this ain't the first time I cut myself, won't be the last.
Yeah, and you know, and I really applaud him like now more so than any time, and it's really because once you get older and you realize all the responsibilities, bro. Because I think a lot of kids don't give their parents their proper like just due. Like they don't give them their proper appreciation because you can never really repay them anyway.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't really know what they did until you really like when you have kids.
Right.
Like, bro, when I had kids and I'm like I look at my dad, I was like, we had, because this is how it really happened. When I went to go look for my Game Boys,
Right.
because I want to go show my kids, because I still got all my Game Boys and shit. I'm looking, bro. I was going through my little drawer. It was every Game Boy, I'm talking about every handheld game that ever came out. PSP, yep, that one. I got that at the crib.
Yeah.
Bro, all of this shit, right? And I'm like, bro, you, like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had to.
I had all this shit.
I had all this shit. And I'm still like, man, I didn't get this that I wanted.
But
I didn't
now
get
you
this.
realizing $300 times that,
Bro.
or $200, or $185 plus
yes.
the 60 plus the.
Bro.
Oh, this shit adds up,
Bro,
quick.
and my dad never gave a fuck. If we wanted it, we had it. And I was like, I always loved that and I appreciated that. But that's why I wanted to set the record straight, because we were talking about that earlier. And I was like, a lot of people think, you know, with child actors that you're the main breadwinner and you paying for everything. It's like,
I being up some places, but
yeah, but like over here, it's like, bro, my dad always had the back on him.
No, fact,
Like,
bro.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you mean.
I can never say my dad needed me for anything.
I'm gonna show you. Same. I'm gonna show. The only thing I could say, and my dad always like, he'll say this to me, and I go, man, like this is, I ain't even do that because it was still you, but he'll go, I'm so grateful for the trips you were able to take, because my parents are, my mom, she gonna go travel. My dad, not so much. He's more of a, he working. He's staying home. He work. He been doing it for over 30 years. He working.
Yep.
So when I would get flown out to LA, when I get flown to New York, when I was doing more, all these different things, these were his vacations.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one thing he'll always, even my mom, she's like, well, my son took me to China.
Yeah.
He took me to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, damn, I guess so. But obviously ain't none of this possible without
y'all.
Without y'all.
Yeah.
And the biggest flex I've started noticing too, when you have parents like ours, you hear what you just said, right? I went back and then I went in my drawer and I got all my, bro, same with me. That's why I got my PlayStation, my Nintendo, all that, right? It's just
all that shit
the
too.
biggest flex is for them, we didn't have to move your shit nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I've met, and I've seen
facts.
so many kids who have like grew up in the industry like me, did other things, and I'll have all this nostalgia, all this shit, and they'll be like, bro, like I ain't never, because either I wasn't getting it before the TV, or we didn't live like that. So even if I had the 64, I don't know where that shit is now.
Yeah.
But
No,
at
facts.
my house,
I
had everything. I still got games and DVDs.
me
They're
too.
all set up.
Me too.
And it's just like, man, the fact that you've been able to create a comfortable enough environment in a place that you don't have to leave and that your children can return to, that is the family home, and their stuff is like, that's a flex in itself.
It is, bro.
Like, bro,
It is.
what?
And then the cool part too, like what you said about the trips and shit, that was another thing that I was also very glad that my dad and my mom got a chance to experience all the things that they got to experience. Cause like my dad, bro, like his story is cool as fuck. Cause like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, we would go to Jordan camp up at Santa Barbara when we were younger. So like, even before we ever went to Jordan camp, my dad used to like go and play golf with like Michael Jordan, Charles Oakley, Penny Hardaway.
That's crazy.
So, but here's the cool part. It's like, for my dad's situation, like we knew Penny Hardaway is like a family friend since we were kids. Okay. So like me and my brother were like down in Orlando when Penny was playing for Orlando with Shaq. We've been to the games. We've been in the tunnel with him. We done been like, so like as even before we were ever on television, we were around kind of like this
None of this shit was new.
None of it was new. And it was kind of divine because it was really cool. I remember the first time I watched Penny sign autographs and like we're standing next to him and Penny Hardaway signing people. Like, Penny, can you sign my shoes? And he like, come on, we got to go, y'all. And we like rushing out the back with Penny and like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm with my dad. I'm with my boy Jeremy and Jamal and their dad, Thaddeus. And we went down there and one time, actually I got a whooping. Well, we all got a whooping because he had the Penny doll. It was up on the Penny doll was up on the fireplace, and they went to go play golf, and we had the house to ourselves basically. Oh, Lord. Whole arcade game. He had the whole arcade set up over there, the big screen. We in Orlando, we lit. They come back, and I think I got on my brother's shoulder. No, or Jeremy. One of them. I think we all worked together to climb to grab the Penny doll. And we was like just playing with it, basically. Like it was in a glass case, all type of shit. Oh,
all kind of shit you should not be playing.
Bro, and it was the first time, like, cause Penny was like, man, y'all touch the Penny doll? And we, you know, kids, we ain't do nothing. Everybody get whooping.
It was like that when I found
Me and my brother got a whooping from my dad, and then Jeremy and Jamal got a whooping from their dad. And then, but those are those cool moments, right? But growing up, and then when we got older, it became like, you know, y'all going to do that, but we going to play golf with Michael Jordan. I'm like, I want to go do that. Yeah, let me go do that. But the relationships that my parents have and the people that they know, and like I always thought it was really cool because we were very, I'm sure you know, back in the days, pictures were everything, right? 100%. My mom used to have the little fucking disposable cameras.
So we used to remember this shit,
bro. We used to always take pictures everywhere we went, and it was I always hated that my mom did that when I was a kid. I used to hate taking pictures, but she always kind of messed with me, and she'll be like, "He used to hate when I take pictures. Now you coming up to the house looking for all these damn pictures." Yeah. I'll be in there. I know she's in here somewhere.
Bro, I used to be so annoyed because I used to be like this. Okay, mom, like this don't do now, especially even seeing how on social media I'm able to repurpose stuff. Yeah, and then even when I did the interview with the guys from The Wire, bro, I had pictures of my mom had pictures legitimately of all of their moms together, all of our fathers together, us with, like, she had a picture of the lady who braided my hair when I was doing The Wire, and then the lady's card next to the picture. I'm like,
that's my mom, bro.
Like,
bro,
what?
Listen, my mom, no cap. I can go to my house right now. It'd be a big ass book, and it says on the front, it'll say "That's So Raven" season 1. This one, That's So Raven, season 2. Zoey 101, season 1.
Crazy.
So I'm like, and I'm talking about everything is like chronological order, pictures, wardrobe pieces. Like she be putting all type of shit. And I'll be like looking at it like, when I was young, we used to be looking like, Mom tripping. Like she's doing a lot. She's going to Michael's and she getting all type of shit together. But now I'll go over there with my kids and be like, look at Uncle Kyle. That's Uncle Kyle. Look at that right here. Like, man. And now it's like they can enjoy that.
And you know how many people just don't have that?
Bro, don't have that.
Like, and then especially people who have been on, like, also fortunately, you guys have been on things that like you can find, you can stream, you can. Yeah, but like, bro, there's also people I've seen who have been in things that just aren't like that. Yeah. And it's just like you had no pictures, you had nothing, so you're just talking. For example, the show I had with Dan, like, guys like us, that was on UPN in '98. if my parents didn't have, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Boy, that bro said UPN 98.
UPN 98, bro.
I remember UPN.
Yes, and it was all at the same time as Moesha, Malcolm and
Parker's,
Eddie,
yep,
bro,
yep.
and legit. My parents have every episode. They have all the, and I'm just like, damn, if I didn't have this, all I'd have is a story. And and like on Wikipedia, there's like 1 or 2. I put the episodes up on YouTube, but like there was only like 1 or 2 episodes, and I'm just like, this is crazy. Like you could just straight up have been forgotten. Yeah. If that's all you did, and you didn't have parents who cared. It just I had a show on UPN. What's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bro.
Yeah, because literally, what's UPN
what is
to
that?
somebody young?
Yeah, what is that?
They're gonna be like,
they
what's
had UPN, then they had WB, then they went together and became CW, but they canceled all the black shows.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what they did.
That's wild that you said it like that, because that's exactly
that's
exactly
what
spot on.
They said we're gonna keep Smallville
that's crazy.
and what's the one Dawson's Creek. They kept like all those little, but they said
they had like what was it, Seventh Heaven too? I think one of them.
Man, you know about the Seventh Heaven stuff, right? The father was a pedophile
on the show.
Seventh Heaven, that actor, and like he admitted on like 2 show on like a late night show, and he's like, like I've done it twice. So obviously he's never worked again. He lives, but he didn't go to jail. He lives in like Montana or something.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Father from Seventh Heaven. Let's see. Stephen Collins was the actor best known for playing Eric Camden, the Seventh Heaven dad. But the actor retired from acting in 2014 amid disturbing controversy. Airing for 11 seasons, the WB series followed Collins and Eric Camden's the father. Oh, that's hilarious. You see even how they wrote that? A stunning controversy. That's the end of that. Let's see if it's on his Wikipedia. See, because I noticed when it's like Cosby, it's in his first. It's in his first sentence. Then there's other people where it's kind of like, well, it's legal allegations. This is all the way down. Okay, let's see. In 2014, okay, so in Wikipedia, they give him all his whatever. In 2014, his career ended after he confessed to sexual misconduct against multiple minors. And so, so he went out of that, and now apparently he lives in like, he lives in some other state with like one of his fans or something, and it's kind of...
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you right there, though, like, that wasn't world news.
Right.
And that, we're talking about Seventh Heaven.
Also, he had kids on the show who are sitting on his lap in the...
But we're also talking about Seventh Heaven. We're not going to make it seem like that show was not a hit show. That was not just a show that was just like one of them ones on the back burner. Like, that's a top series with a confession. That's not like an accusation. That's him saying, I did this. And he's like, just gets to go to Montana. Like nobody knows nothing. Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? But like, those are the type of things that sometimes just bother me, because it's like, it's gotta be across the board now. We can't.
If we're gonna do this, let's just do it for everybody.
Yeah, it can't be like
picking.
You gotta be a billionaire for this to work, or you gotta be popping right now, or.
Let's see. He lives in Iowa with a super fan.
Oh yeah.
No, bro. Disgraced Seventh Heaven's actor.
The super fan is crazy.
Steven, 72, has retreated to Iowa town, married 32-year-old German super fan, and lives a quiet life meditating daily after admitting to exposing himself and touching minors.
Wow.
That is what
Bro admitted to that.
You see, and then the clickbait as you go by, they're like, oh, see, they had to have a Kevin Spacey line in there somewhere, so they're like, hey, more SEO.
He's 72 now?
Yeah, 72.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Also, I mean, bro, it's happened also in I don't know if you ever watched that show Deadwood. There was a HBO show. Actually, I know what you have seen. You've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah. You know the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yeah.
Yeah, he also is a sex offender.
Like registered?
Registered. He actually got in trouble for not registering. So here's what's crazy about him.
Oh, that's crazy.
What's his name? Ferris Bueller. So his shit was crazy. He was trying to solicit pictures from an underage child. And they knew about this, I want to say, when did it happen? They knew about it when it happened. Jeffrey Jones, that's his name. But they put him back on Deadwood, like they did a movie, and they brought him back years after he's been charged for this.
Damn.
This guy. Yeah, he's like, I remember. Yeah, no, bro. Like, he has some, and then also in 2003, Jones was charged
Beetlejuice. That's what else he was in.
Soliciting a minor to pose nude for photographs. Jones pleaded no contest and had subsequent arrests for failing to update his sex offender status. So he just out, still on show. So even when he got the movie Deadwood, or the show Deadwood, that show, bro, started, I want to say 2004, 2005. So he got hired.
Yeah.
Like, it just shows you it's like.
Well, I mean, that's like the same thing, right? Even when you said about like, how you said I threw Kevin Spacey in there.
Right.
But I look at stuff like Robert Downey Jr., right? Like Robert Downey Jr., great actor,
incredible.
Amazing, right? But he went off, had a heroin problem, had a drug problem, was in rehab, in and out of rehab, all these things.
We would never work again.
Let that be Denzel.
Oh.
Let that have been Will Smith.
Oh,
they would have put that.
It would have been over in the ground.
Ringer.
In the ground. There would be no more. No.
He would be on TV every day.
Right.
His name would be on TV every day. But what they did, they let him clean himself up.
Let him cool off.
Let him come back.
And then gave him one of the biggest contracts known to man.
And then on top of that, he just won another Oscar.
Yeah.
Right? Which he did a great job.
Deserving. No one's saying, we both agree. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
But
we know. Like, you feel me? Because it's just what it is.
Charlie Sheen.
Absolutely. And Charlie Sheen to me is always will be just he's in another level.
He's in another level. He's Charlie Sheen.
But
$2 million an episode, nigga.
Yeah.
$2 million an episode.
Yeah.
We shoot 22 episodes.
Yeah. And for everyone watching at home, that's $2 million a week.
$2 million a week.
Every episode is
plus,
1 week.
Plus residuals.
Yeah. That he's still getting to this day.
Tiger blood, baby.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying, right? So, like, you got people like them that, they can mess up. They can screw up. They can talk their shit. They can pop their shit. But we have to move a certain way.
Because we're supposed to be thankful that we even here.
Yeah, which is, really some bullshit because we built this country. Right? We single-handedly built this country. Right. And, I just feel like if anybody deserves the respect around here, it's everybody. But we definitely deserve it. You know what I mean? Because
at least our just due.
Yeah.
At least
our just due.
Because we're not getting reparations.
No, we're not. And that's the thing that I don't think that that's even necessary at this point as much as the respect is.
Right.
I think the respect is the level that it needs to be where we're recognized as what we are. Right. I mean, because here's one thing when they say like men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. You go across any type of physical aspect. Yeah. We'll just go with sports or athletics, right? Black people are at the very, very top of every last one of those lists. Yep. From tennis to golf to track and field. To football, to basketball, to baseball.
That's why they keep us out of certain sports.
But even the ones that they try to keep us out of, like baseball,
we still
the top home run hitter is black, and then the second one is black.
Golf, Tiger
Woods, Michael Jordan. You could argue Michael, Kobe, LeBron. Don't matter. They're all the same. Yeah, black men, African descent, right? So I think that the white supremacist thing is because of the fact that they want us to not know or not to not know, but they want us to feel as if we are
inferior. It's just like the Africa thing we were talking about. You want us to feel like things aren't as good where we come from, and we have to be with what you're doing.
And you know what's so crazy? I'm glad you just brought that back up. On that first trip to Africa, this is what really changed my life. On my first trip, we flew first class, right? Damn. KLM.
Beautiful. I know.
It was like, we didn't pay for it. Production did. Yeah. But, right? So just for the people out there, so y'all know, because a lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
You said first class, not business first.
Yeah, we were first.
Oh, no, and that's my point. So that's an easy $10,000, $12,000 each way flight.
You were right. It was 13.
Yeah.
13 bands.
Yeah.
And it was me,
And that's
my
them.
mom, my brother, right?
Ah.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, right? So we went, right? And we flew a lot with them too. But when we went there, this is what changed my life. That was my first trip, like I said, right? I was 16 or something. The people to the right of me, everyone in first class was white,
Of course.
right? And we're going to Kenya. Like
We're
one
going
of
to
the-
a black
This
place.
is like this is not Cape Town, South Africa. This is Kenya. There's a lot of black people here. And I was confused because I'm like, I didn't realize all these white people travel to Kenya, right? And the only black people on the plane that were not native to Kenya were me, my mom, my brother, and Lou Gossett Jr., right? So I kept looking around, I'm like, this shit's weird. This didn't make any sense. So I was talking to one of the ladies who was sitting next to me, and she goes, she kind of was getting up, walking around and shit, you know, because it was like a fucking long ass flight. We had a 9.5 to Amsterdam, and then another 12 to Kenya or some shit like that, or 12 or 13 to Kenya. So we go. She's walking around, and she goes, "Are you stopping in Kenya? Are you staying there?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna be in Kenya." She said, "Oh, I love it here." She said, "Have you been?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't been before. It's my first time."
Right.
She goes, "Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. The people, the culture, the food." So I'm like, "All right." Like, that's kind of crazy. The mind fuck for me was like this older white lady telling me about Africa. Like,
You're gonna love it.
and I'm, you know what I mean? We done had to take like 12 shots and all type of shit. Like, in my mind, I didn't know what to expect, right? Because I was also, again, programmed like everyone else that malaria and AIDS and this and that, right?
What's now?
Yeah, all this stuff. So she's telling me all this is gonna be you're gonna love it, it's so beautiful and this and that. So I'm like, she goes, "We come 3 times a year." She said, "My entire family, that's my son, that's my daughter, that's my husband, all of them are in first class." So I did the math in my head real quick, like 13.
Yeah,
I'm like,
look, we can round it to 15, 15,
yeah,
30,
15, yeah,
30,
damn.
60,
And y'all do
60,000.
this how many times? She goes, "Yeah, and we only fly KLM." Da, da. So I'm like, damn. So what like changed my life was the aspect of like, this place can't be that bad.
Right.
If this white lady says she comes here 3 times a year with her entire family
And pay $60,000 to do
to
it.
do it every time,
Yeah.
right? So I'm going, something's not adding up here. This plane is full of white people, besides the Kenyans that are going home or like going to visit family or whatever, besides me and my brother and my mom. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, that's it. That's it. You keep the young black men in America
ignorant to this.
away from this place while they come enjoy the beauty of this place every day.
Right.
And that's what happens, bro. Because here's the thing. If you ask the average black person right now, anybody, you can have a free trip anywhere in the world where you want to go. Almost 90% of them will not say Africa.
You're 100% right.
Like 99%, we'll give that. And then probably the 1% that will are probably like very woke.
That's what I love. Them niggas got
You probably wouldn't
beads
even
on
want-
their neck.
You probably wouldn't even want to invite that.
Listen, brother, I want to go to the motherland.
He gonna do too much when he get there. Like, you feel me? But it's true. It's like there's a disconnect there. Everyone wants to go, you know, to I'll hear young black women like, "I want a vacation in Paris.
Mykonos.
Yeah, Mykonos. I want to go." And it's like, yeah, that's cool. But guess what? All the countries that you're saying you want to go visit, guess where they all go on vacation? Africa.
Right.
While you're walking around their city streets, they're walking around the streets of Africa.
Your city streets,
Yeah.
low key, yeah.
Bro, if I showed you a video right now of me at Cape Town in December, you're gonna think it was like West Hollywood or something. Like, you're gonna be like, "There's no way this was like." It's just like it was so diverse, where to the point where obviously like that's good. Like diversity is good everywhere, right? But my thing is, Africa is one of the places where you can learn very quickly that everything that you've learned was a lie.
Right. And
But you gotta see it when you
Right.
get there. See what I'm saying? Because you're gonna be meeting people that will do anything for you out of love, though, not just on some like, just I want to be your servant. But you realize that this is how places like Africa, this is why places like the American Indian, Native Americans, I don't call them Indians because someone was lost looking for India and found America and called them that. But I tell people all the time, black and brown people were all over the globe. People don't realize that. Like when they look at the Native Americans, the reason why they confuse them with Indians, because Indian are dark-skinned people.
Right.
Everyone comes from Africa. Australia, everyone thinks Australia is a white country. That's what everyone thinks.
Right, but
if you look up the indigenous people of Australia,
they displaced the Aboriginals.
They were black people. They look just like me and you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I've met some Australians and you realize how terribly they treat those people. Like they did what they did to our Native Americans.
Exactly.
Put them out in
over
the fucking
there. Put them over there with all the deadly snakes, the deadliest animals. Leave y'all over there.
And they didn't get casinos and shit.
No, you don't get none of that. And we're gonna live happily ever after over here with minimum wage in Australia. I think it's like $19 or some shit an hour.
That's because everything over there apparently. Have you been?
No,
see, I ain't been there.
I haven't
bro.
been
But I heard everything over there is so inflated. It's like you have to make crazy money because the problem is they don't export shit. They just import shit.
But that's the thing, right? It's like
natural
at
resources.
The end of the day, though, this place wasn't built for that. These people were these people were minding their own fucking business.
And you came through and
you came in and fucked it up. There were black people in Australia. You can look that up. Anybody at home has watched this go, ain't no black people in Australia. Look it up. Aborigines, darker than me. Go India. They're dark skinned. So when people are looking, they said that the black melanin skin is the only skin that can produce white blonde hair. That's facts. Right? We can have what people now call albinos,
yeah.
But our race is the only one that can actually, on paper, produce your race.
Damn, that's true.
Right?
We do
have that. Like we have, there is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed black man that is albino.
Wow.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're, it sounds crazy when people look at it like, oh, that's not true. We can't come from this and we can't come from that. But there's different type of hairstyles.
There's millions of years. Like people don't
exactly.
Bro.
Millions of years of no condoms, no laws, no rules,
no tracking, knowing where anyone is,
no religion.
Come on,
bro. That's the reason why we only clock 2024.
Yeah.
You know why? It's because they don't want anyone to even learn about the shit that happened before we had religion and law.
That's why they find all these fucking lost civilizations, and they're like, well, they couldn't have been people because people have only been around from. It's like,
bro,
says who?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, the pyramids were built before 3,000 years ago.
Right.
9,000 years ago is what they really believe. But here's the thing. It's so fucking long ago that no one really knows.
Because no one was alive. And then also we didn't have record keeping that was good enough. And we can't read the shit.
I'm about to say, the only record keeping we do have is hella symbols.
Hieroglyphics, nigga. Like,
but think about it, right? Even that, right? All of the other places, the other ruins, all this shit that you can think of, Egypt was one of the only ones that's still standing firm to this day.
Facts, that is true.
Every last one of them. You go see the ruins
they
in Rome.
They even changed the names and shit. Egypt is still Egypt.
Yeah, you go to Rome, you go see all this shit where like, oh, this used to be a palace. Nigga, that shit is rubble. You'd be like, I see I see one column, nigga, and hella rubble and rocks over here, nigga. So what was this, the living room? Nigga, you could go to Egypt, nigga. That shit is standing.
Intact.
Nigga, intact. Nigga, the only thing that they did was, who came and took all the gold off of the pyramid, but we know who that was.
Fucked up the Sphinx a little bit, but
yeah, and that's how you know Egyptians were black people, because them niggas got buried in all their gold. Real ones. Real ones, nigga. You know they was black, trying to make Egyptians look like they wasn't black. Get the fuck out of here. That boy said, I'm dying with my dog, my cat, and all my gold. Bury me in my tomb.
My Rolly.
Yeah, put that in my tomb too. You niggas ain't getting nothing. For sure. But if you think about it, why is it that black people have an association with gold? Why is it that black people?
Because we come from the country where it's a natural
It's
fucking
a natural
resource.
resource, right? Black people and people.
And now we go buy it from white men who overprice it for us.
Exactly. When in all actuality, you could even just go there yourself and buy it for a substantially cheaper.
Substantial. Even the De Beers with the diamonds.
Bro, yes.
Like, come on, bro. It's the oldest. It's the oldest trick in the book.
But like even like that country, Anglo-American, right?
Yeah, right.
Right? That's racist
Off
by
rip.
itself, right? Like
Anglo.
Like you're based in South Africa,
Anglo-Saxon.
you're mining all of their gold, platinum, silver, copper, diamonds, and yet
And
none
selling
of
it
their
back to
people,
their people.
yeah, none of their people are getting it. You're gonna sell it to the Americans who just think like, I need to get this bust down chain. But if you
The term
think
Anglo-American defined as included English-speaking countries around the world, similar in values and demographics.
yeah, all right.
The United States, Canada.
Yeah, but the crazy part is it's a British company.
Of course.
So that's like the thing that makes it kind
But
of
they
like,
had English first, right? That's the finesse.
Yeah, no, that's the finesse. Because realistically, we're not speaking our native tongue right now.
No, we speak the ghetto version of their English.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it really is.
I tell people all the time. I said, just like like in Mexico, they weren't speaking Spanish. The Spaniards pulled up and started killing and enslaving, and
now you speak Spanish.
You speak Spanish, right? That's the reason why when you go to Africa, everyone there speaks like 7 languages. They speak French. They speak English.
Because they've been raped by so many.
It's too many different cultures that have come in and got a piece of the pie, right? And it's like, eventually, there's one thing about Africa, it'll never not be any left, right? Because Africa's got enough to go around for sure. But it's like, someday it's got to be given back to the people, bro. Because it's
look, once they take mostly all of it,
bro,
that's what they're gonna be like.
Yeah.
Give it back.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You know what it's like? It's like Diddy giving back the royalties. Did you hear about that?
Yo,
nigga gave back the catalogs. Like,
gotta-
nigga, this record was hot in 1994. Ain't nobody streaming this shit no more. Oh, now you want to give me my shit back?
Oh no, yeah, nah. Hey, at least he did. No shit. Some people.
That's what we're gonna be saying about Africa. Hey, I mean, at least they gave it back, nigga.
Yeah, no, but it's true, bro. It's like those countries don't have. What it is they don't have us, bro.
Right.
The unity between the Black American dollar with Africa will change things. Somebody has to show these people that there's a world outside of what you know, right? You go to Ghana, you go to all these places, Tanzania, whatever. You're gonna see amazing people, bro. Like I met, bro, no lie. Shout out to my boy Asen, man. In Johannesburg. We were in Johannesburg on a trip. I told my girl, I'm like, damn, man, I really want to record while I'm out here because we were in the studio. We were in the little penthouse shit, the little club, and it was a vibe, bro. It was so cool with everybody dancing. None of that. Everybody cool in the section.
They having
like,
a good time.
They got sections too. They got hookah, but everybody dancing. Everybody's lit, right? And I'm like, man, this shit is so cool. And I'm listening to all, like, bro, I was
native music,
bro.
And shit. I know.
So I was like, I gotta get on a track down here, right? How the universe works. Asen, my boy now, but yeah, he pulled up on me. He was like, "What are you doing here?" Like, he me like one of those. I'm like, what? Like, yo, he's like, bro, I know who you are. He's like, bro, you in South Africa? Fuck you doing in Johannesburg? Like, I'm like, man, I'm like, bro, I'm just chilling, bro. He was like, bro, he dapped me up. He's like, yo, man, I'm a big fan, bro. He's like, look, he said, I do music, bro. He was like, you gotta like check out my shit. I said, you do music? He's like, yeah, bro, I got a studio back in my crib and everything, bro. I just record out the house.
And you was like, listen.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, yo. I was like, listen.
Let's go.
I was like, bro, how far are your studio from here? He was like, oh, it's like 20, 30 minutes. So I'm like, all right, cool. I said, well, I'm staying here because I was staying in the hotel.
Right.
But the upstairs had like a little club there. Like, I didn't even know that when I booked it. It was like kind of a vibe. Right.
And,
so
you could still be in the hotel.
Yeah, it was like a rooftop vibe.
Yeah.
It was lit. DJ, it was going crazy, bro. Like, I pulled up like, it was something I had never experienced because, I've been to Johannesburg before when I was younger and shit, but I wasn't old enough to go out and like do shit. So like that was my time of being able to like go to the bar and do, so that was fun. But we didn't go that night, but the next day I'm sitting in a hotel and he texted me, he was like, yo, he's like, here's the address if you want to pull up today. And I was flying out that night. I was flying back to America that night. So I was like, fuck. I was like, should I spend my last day in the studio versus like just going out and doing something? And then I was like, fuck that shit. I'm going. Right. So like I went out on a whim, right? Like at the end of the day, like I trust my gut a lot. But like he seemed like, you know what I'm saying? It was good vibes.
It
like
made
we drank.
sense. It didn't,
it wasn't like sketchy.
There's no flags.
Yeah, no flags.
You,
like, but you never know. So, I threw caution to the wind and was like, fuck it, I'm finna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fuck it. I'm gonna pull up. So I get in the Uber, we get there. So the first thing that we pull up, it's a security guard at the gate. I'm like, security guard? Like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm here to see the homie, Asen, right? And he's like, okay, hold on. He like calls, he opens up the gate open up, beautiful house, bro. Wow. Beautiful house, got dogs running around and like all the shit. Like I get up there, him and his boy come out, like dap me up, what's good, bro? Like, boom. Go in the back, they got the whole setup back there, and I'm like, damn. I'm glad I pulled up. Like, bro, fire me up, one. I'm like, okay.
He had it right.
Yo.
That's great.
But it was like, that's the things that people need to experience when they go to these places. Because, yeah, it's cool to go to your hotel and do this and do that, but sometimes you gotta
see the people.
You gotta see the people. The people who are gonna make or break. Because, like, bro, he's so talented, bro. We did a song there right then and on the spot. Mm-hmm. We knocked it out in like 30 minutes. Right, I put a verse down. I did a hook. He put a verse down, and then we did some other shit. And he, even still, bro, he'll hit me up. Hey, yo, bro, I got this shit. I think you'll fuck with it. He'll send me something. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ooh, this shit hard. I'm like, bro, you fire, bro. Like he's hard, bro. That's like dope. For real. Like I told him that, but those are those moments that you can't get, just not experiencing the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and now it's funny because I was put on to like Tyler. I love Tyler to death. She's amazing. I was put on to her the first time I went to South Africa like a couple years ago.
Right.
So like when
you're seeing the growth,
I was following her when she had like a couple 100,000 followers, and I'm like, bro, she's gonna blow. Like I remember saying she's so hard, and like just her videos were fire. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh but then. When you're there and you're like, bro, I was Shazam crazy. I was going Shazam crazy in South Africa. Cause I'm like, I'm sitting there at the bar, all of a sudden a song will come on.
You like
and everybody like, oh, and I'm like, oh shit.
And it's music that's resonating more with us.
Yeah, but here's the thing, I'm also like,
this
shit hard. Like, but the thing is, I'm doing it more on like I'm looking at it on just like the beat, the energy, but then I'm looking at the crowd reaction. So then I'm like, yo, so I'm like, I'm the they know I'm American. I'm over here like by the speaker trying to Shazam this shit.
Burna Boy guy is good.
Bro, I'm soaking up all the game. Like, yo, this nigga fire. I'm downloading hella people, right? And then when I would get back home or some shit, right, I'll be playing it or whatever. People they be like, oh, this shit kind of cool, like, But with the Tyler situation, I was even posting her. It was a shit on my page where I was posting her like a couple years ago. Oh, wow. Before the water song blew her all the way up.
Before the hype,
So it was like, for me, that was even cool moment for me because I remember learning about this girl in South Africa.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
You learn from the source.
Like I was there before your TikTok shit, like in a sense of like just learning about this person.
Boots on the ground.
I learned with boots on the ground, but I also saw that she was gonna be huge from a long time ago.
And it's you also understanding my taste is on point.
Right?
I know what you mean, like,
exactly. So it was like, I was seeing that, but imagine though, right? Imagine how many other people that could you know, you come and experience, even with you producer,
Yeah, I
right?
see what
You
you're
go there, you experience what it's like when someone hears this beat come on.
And then I come back with
You
something
you
different.
you link up even with my boy. You go down there, I'll link you with him. You in the studio with him. He got producers. One of his producers works with Burna Boy and stuff as well, right? So it's like you got these people that are like showing you the sauce with this, and it's like I saw with my own two eyes what people did when Tyler's song "Getting Late" came on. I watched people run to the dance floor and start going crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, if I'm seeing this is happening here, I'm already knowing what's gonna happen when this shit travels over the ocean to America.
To the marketing and the hype.
You feel me?
It's outta here.
Once this hits TikTok, it's over with. Like, because the Water song was huge. But for someone like me, watching the growth of like this song, this record, this video, I'm like, oh yeah. It's only a matter of time. And that's why it was really cool for me to witness that, because I got a chance to feel like I experienced it a little bit before all the shit kind of took off. And now it's like, when I saw her, she's like the first South African to ever have like the top spot on billboards or something like that. I'm like, damn.
So it's happening slowly, but it's happening.
It's happening.
We just, like you said, more of us needs to go experience that, because I feel like we will come back with that was so cool to see Kai Cenat just do that. Yeah, like just going to these places with people that look like you and being able to understand and bring a piece of that back to where you're from, and then know, hey, my people actually have a lot going on elsewhere,
bro.
And it's not just I'm so lucky to be here, you know?
Yeah, because that's another thing. Everyone thinks. I mean, obviously, we do live in a great.
We have a great country. Yeah,
we do have a great country. I'm never gonna bash America because I love it here. I'm born here. But when you travel,
you understand,
and you understand, like, yeah, there's some places out
There's
here
some other good
that I would also be okay with living in.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's not a shade on it. It's just like, it's just the reality. I mean, you know, you go, there's places, you know, I mean, you can get beachfront property for a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
You're not getting that in America.
Yeah. Colombia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not beachfront, but the Colombia and the fucking where else? Parts of Mexico.
Yeah. Even St. Lucia.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, bro, you can slide out there, 300,000. You're looking at the ocean every day. You know, but what
So
happens?
different.
Yeah, right.
So different.
But
You can't even live in Compton for 3
yeah,
years.
exactly,
Hey.
exactly. So the thing is, we're so, and you know what's funny? People in other countries always move around to other countries,
That is true.
right? Americans are the only ones that don't.
Because our country is so big, we just travel states.
Yep.
But they be moving.
They'll be like, oh, I lived in London, and oh, I lived in, bro, I knew one person, he lived in Denmark, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, London, and Accra, Ghana. Like, real life. And he was from Nigeria.
Jesus Christ. But once you're from another country, I feel like you don't think of, like, I'm just
Yeah.
going to the...
Yeah, he's like, oh, I lived here for like a couple years. I lived here for a
Think
year.
of what that network, what your network looks like if you do that.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But also what you're learning. Because here's another thing too. You're learning other languages.
100%.
You're involving yourself in different cultures to where you have an understanding. That's the reason why I'm not quick to jump on when people be like, oh, I can't stand this type of person or this type of person. I'm like, bro, listen, you've never been to this country.
Sat with them, see how it moves over.
Yeah.
I understood a lot more about, even when I went to China, I understood a lot more about Chinese people in the U.S. But you realize it because you're like, oh, like, this shit is run completely differently. Like, there are no,
Ain't none of that.
Yeah, it's very different.
But guess what, right? And this, I'm going to try to say this the best way I can, but what's crazy is people look at those type of countries and they go, that's so wrong. They don't have they can't do this, they can't do that. But guess what? When those people come to America, they strive.
They excel.
They do nothing but win.
Yep.
You know why? Because they're not doing all the bullshit freedoms that you
They
have.
are disciplined.
Exactly.
And they are disciplined early, and they are taught that this is what is acceptable and this is what is valued here.
And we're going to teach you something that you can use around the world.
To help us stay the number one.
Number one.
Right.
Keep sending the, bro, because here's the thing, right? how can we like? And because my grandma had a quote she always told me. She said, "Too much freedom is a dangerous thing."
Yes, it is.
And that's a fact, right? She's
Idle
like,
time is the devil's plaything.
yeah. She's like, too much freedom for anybody is a dangerous thing. And like, I think that America, home of the free, you got enough time to do whatever the fuck you want to do all day long and not think about what's really important,
Exactly.
right?
You got time to think about bullshit.
Bullshit. You can sit here every day. In America, you can sit here every day and not do shit.
and think yourself into depression.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, nobody likes me. But no, bro, just put your mind to something.
Try.
You won't even be thinking about nobody else.
You'll be too busy.
Right? But what happens is people look at these countries and, oh, I would never want to do that. Could never live there because of this and that and that. But it's like, if you've ever walked down Rodeo Drive and seen who's walking in and out of those designer stores with every bag,
It's not Americans.
it's
It is not
bro.
Americans.
You
No.
can think it's us all you want to.
No.
That's like when the rappers be like, we buy more to Gucci than any. Bro, stop it.
Okay.
When
good. Nice.
When I hear people think that, like, you know, our culture or whatever is like we're contributing to a lot of this stuff a lot, it's like, yes, don't get me wrong.
For our percentages.
Yeah,
For our percentages,
we influence
are,
a
yes.
lot. But when it comes to like the big bank, bro,
Oil money buys everything
come
in
on,
the
bro.
store.
Come on, bro.
Like, you can't compete with
You're never,
royalty.
ever,
No, you
ever.
can't. No.
Bro,
like,
I've walked into the stores with, I'm not gonna say any names, people that were very, very wealthy,
Yes.
right? This was the first time I learned this, and I didn't even know this. I was probably like 17, some shit. It's a son and daughter, but
Right.
their parents are like
Dumb.
very, very, very wealthy. And we're on Rodeo, we're just chilling. Like, we went Robertson first, then we went to Rodeo. We went into the Louis Vuitton store, and they walk in and they go, "Oh, hey, good to see you. Oh my God, how are you? Hugs, kisses, blah, blah, blah. Anything to drink, blah, blah, blah. Champagne." Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably
Right.
like 17, 18. I'm like,
Okay.
fuck it. Yeah, I'll take some, right? So we like, boom, we're sitting there. She was like, "I love that. I want that. I love this. Oh my God, I want that. I love this. I want that. I love this. I want that." I'm like, all right, damn. I'm like, shit. I'm like, in my head, I'm like tallying up shit, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we all young. We're just kind of talking and shit. She's like, "Chris, do you like the?" It's like, oh my God. I was like, "These shoes are hard." She's like, "You like those? Just get them." I'm like, I'm not finna buy these right now. Like, she's like, "No, just get them. Like, don't worry about it." I'm like, all right, right? I'm like, cool. So I'm like, all right, put this on there. So then her brother comes by. He grabs like a jacket, coat, all this, right? As we're leaving out, that was the first time I ever saw there was no transaction that ever happened, right? So that's what I'm trying to let these rappers and these people who think like, well, I spent $15,000 in there.
They make sure they get your money.
Yeah,
before
they're
you
gonna
do.
get your bread, but guess what? This family over here, she's not swiping shit.
Yeah.
She has an account.
They just have it on.
Yeah, it's this is like pick and play. She can just, I want this, that, these, and those, and guess what? She doesn't have to swipe a card.
They even
She
have
doesn't to-
leniency for people like that,
Absolutely.
where it's like, "Hey, just want to say, want to make sure you close out this month."
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. And when I tell you, we walked out of the Louis Vuitton store with I was fucking dumbfounded.
I know you guys walking out. You're like, "Is this shit gonna beep?"
Yeah, I'm like, wait, so I could have got more shit? Like, yo, the shoes, like, I would have got dripped out. Nigga, like, and we just walk out, like, because I was confused, but that's what happens. So, you know, when you have certain people that are not aware that they think that their dollars are doing something, but guess what? They're not the only family with accounts with Louis Vuitton.
Exactly.
They're not the only family with accounts with all of these stores.
Test.
Yo.
All right, yeah. All right, well, we need to wrap this fucking thing up. We've been doing like 3 hours. But yeah, bro, I feel you. I just want to say thank you, bro, so much for pulling up and doing this. Like, nigga, we could talk for forever.
Bro, yeah, I'll pull back up
Cool.
one day too.
Well,
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, it's great to see. It's great to see you fucking making it happen. It's great to hear you. You know, you being the family man you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? And to just chop it up about like all this. You know.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy
Nah,
entertainment.
bro,
shit.
I appreciate
History.
you, man. We proud of you, bro. Keep doing your shit. You know, we got to support each other. That's what it's all about,
Hell
no
yeah.
matter what. You know what I'm saying? For forever. You
100
know what I'm
no,
saying? Like,
100%,
whatever
bro.
you're doing, I'm
And
going
back
to
at
always
you.
support it. You know
Back
what I'm
at
saying?
you,
Because
bro.
at the end of the day, we all we really have out here.
We
You know
all
what
we
I'm saying?
got.
We all we got. You feel me?
And
Well, yo, man, my dog,
my dog,
you already know.
my brother. And we out.
Yes, sir.
Peace.